not just a case. You're not just a client. You're a person, and you deserve support. You deserve simplicity. You deserve communication. When you hire an attorney, you deserve clear, risk-free advice that guides you to the best possible outcome in your injury case. And that's exactly what the advocates have been providing for over 30 years. After your accident, you deserve closure. You deserve compassion. You deserve peace of mind. You deserve an advocate.
This is the Monty Show, the truth in sports talk streaming. When you want unbiased opinions about your favorite team without the spin, all you have to do is find the Monty Show, streaming live and available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on YouTube. And now, here's Monty.
Hey, the Monty Show live on your YouTube machine. Happy Tuesday. April 1st, don't even start. Oh, April Fool's, bro. Am I the lone guy who hates April Fool's jokes? It is what it is. As usual, we are brought to you by the Playboy Mansion. See, I'm kidding because
that was his April Fool's and it all works together.
You know, that's all I got. As usual, we are presented by the Advocates at theadvocates.com. The best injury attorneys in the business, 24/7, 365. You could chat with an injury attorney because they understand that when you get into an accident, it's one of the worst days of your life. You need answers. You need clear, risk-free advice, and you never should have to reach into your pocket to pay the advocates, ever, because you don't pay the advocates unless and until they win your case. And the truth of the matter is, you can't trust your insurance companies. I wish that wasn't the way it is, but I think everybody who's watching this show, we have all been there when, hey, yeah, I'm not going to be able to pay, that hurricane. It wasn't the hurricane. It was the water. We're not going to be able to fire. No. You know how it is. Like, insurance companies aren't looking to pay you. They're looking to not pay you. Let the advocates fight for what you have coming. Get to theadvocates.com right now. Let's give some early shout outs here on the show. Who's first winning? Look at old Greg. Old Greg, time to inhale the Monty Show. Exhale the stress. That's right.
Let's right. It's a cleansing experience,
And a very valid question. How many holes are in a two shakes?
So let me get this right. Yesterday, within 5 comments, we had, when is the meat gazing portion of the program?
Dana
today?
Yesterday
paid
to make
now
that comment.
Today, how many holes are in a two shake?
I think it's a very relevant question. It is a very relevant question.
2 holes.
Lopes fan Gabe, hello. Good to see you. TJ back in on the afternoon show. Let's get it. 2 shakes, the number of holes. We better let Monty, a.k.a. the girthy one, tell us. Oh, now I'm the girthy one. Okay. So we're off.
You might as well have just worked in a boss.
We're off.
Come on.
A resounding start. Who am I?
Show up.
Who am I? Zion Williamson? Are you out of your minds? All right, let's get to work on the Monty Show because a lot of you are here today to talk about the Pac-12 and a very interesting conversation that I had yesterday into today about where the Pac-12 is, because we all know what yesterday was. Yesterday was the J.D. Wicker deadline. We're going to play you the bite in a minute. We're back in February. J.D. Wicker said that there was going to be a Pac-12 media deal, and it was going to be done by the end of March. Well, guess what? March is over, and here we are in April, and a Pac-12 TV deal has not been announced. And I think it's just another one of those situations where you said something that not only you shouldn't have said, but here's another person in the Pac-12 who is sitting at the top of the Pac-12 making a statement that they didn't have to make. Nobody forced J.D. Wicker to put a false timeline on when the Pac-12 was going to get a TV deal. And all this has done is spun up a bunch of consternation over the last 2 days about the future and the foundation of the Pac-12. Let's get something straight right now. The Pac-12, regardless of what the other jackwagons are telling you, the Pac-12 is in no danger of collapse. The Pac-12 is in no different of a position today than they were yesterday or the day that dummy J.D. Wicker opened his pie hole and started making promises he could not keep.
Facts.
Those are the facts. The Pac-12 is just fine. They're going to get a TV deal. Who knows when and for how much? The Pac-12 has a lot of issues that are pending, especially in the courtroom. And I think when you look at JD Wicker's statement and you look at the false timeline that I still don't understand why he put it out there, Jake, again, not to be negative with the Pac-12, but the facts are the facts, and the facts are this is business as usual for the Pac-12.
Yeah, and it's really unfortunate. JD Wicker is someone who has made this mistake before, and obviously didn't learn from that. And I think that San Diego State is an institution that lost a ton of credibility through the pro rata we deserve situation. Sending letters and emails and, just speaking out of turn and quite frankly, again, like you just said, not to be negative, but speaking in an uneducated fashion. I mean, with all due respect, JD, talking directly to you, bro, you put an artificial timeline on when you were going to get a media rights deal done, and verbatim, and we're about to play the clip, you said that you're going to have the MOU signed and we're going to be good to go, and we're going to know then, once the deal's done, what schools we can go out and get next. And I have to say, like, there was no pressure for you to speak on this.
Yeah,
there
what
was
the
no
reason?
There was no impetus. There was no like, oh man, like we got to comment on this. Like you weren't in a position where you were pulling a Marshawn and just saying, I'm just here so I don't get fined.
No.
Or you weren't no commenting it. You didn't have to do any of that.
But
like
watch the video. I think this is one of those situations where JD Wicker was sitting up on a stage and he wanted to say something. He
clearly,
I'm guessing he felt some kind of pressure. It's just my opinion. Obviously, he hasn't said that, but it's just my opinion. You look at the forum where he is doing this, and you notice he's not doing this in front of TV cameras. Hell, this thing's shot on a cell phone.
End of next month, we will have the MOU done for our television deal. So we will know what our TV deal is going to be, who our partners are going to be. I will say this, they're entities that you're familiar with, that you would recognize. We're going to get great exposure, and the really good thing is we're going to get more exposure. It's not just going to be football and men's basketball, but it's going to be all of our sports are going to have the opportunity for this increased exposure. It's going to be increased revenue, which is a big thing for us. So that's really the next big piece. Once we know that, then we can go recruit that 8th football playing member. We need one more football playing member that has all of its sports to meet FBS rules or NCAA FBS rules. And then after that, we'll figure out if we're adding 1, 2, or 3 more schools, and whether they're coming in all of their sports. They might be coming in some of their sports.
Why? And again, that's the question that I don't understand. And we're gonna get more exposure and more money and
I think
members. And
I think
why?
Your best point so far, and I think the point that needs to be talked about, in my opinion, with this is JD Wicker is someone who feels the need to talk, even when he doesn't need to talk. And you can go and find them. They're all over Twitter now because this deadline is coming past. And obviously, the whatever adjective you want to use about the folks on Twitter, the grifters, the sleuths, the hacks, whatever you want to call them, dig up all his old, 2022, 2023, press conference moments where, he's saying things like San Diego State is always trying to, achieve at the highest level athletically. Like if you go back and you listen to the press conference where they announced that they were, joining the Pac-12 in 2026, in kicking off the conference in 2026, he talked all about how that was their, that was San Diego State's, goal and mission was to, be at the top. And he was specifically asked about, hey, is the Pac-12 and San Diego State going to get back to, power conference, affiliation, that, artificial term we put on it. And he talked all about it and talked way out of turn about it. And so that's why I say, like if anybody is out here talking about how this is his first time, you haven't been following this guy's track record. And I have to say, it's really surprising that JD Wicker, and you can go, the beauty of YouTube is you can go back and listen to our take on this from the day it happened.
Yeah.
I mean, we talked about it the morning after it happened. And I was surprised then as I am now, because now we're sitting here after all the flack and all the nonsense in the comment section from Pac-12 fan who said, hey, you guys don't know what you're talking about. If he's saying it's true. And it's like, no, dude, actually, this guy's got a track record of speaking out of turn, representing the institution on its own in a really poor fashion, and then representing, of course, his conference in a really bad way. And so I don't understand, what, because you always hear this term, hey, the new Pac-12. I don't understand what's so new about it. What, outside of the fact that you've just got this little pod of schools together, what's new about what's happening in this conference? It's the same as it ever was in terms of operations and behavior, right? J.D. Wicker still talking out of turn. Teresa Gould, for whatever reason, did not instill, in my opinion anyway, did not instill any type of confidence in that interview that she did, where we talked all about that. Like talking about how you need transformational partners. You can't just have someone cut you a check. Actually, you do want someone to cut you a check. Yeah. And actually, you don't want to be asking for TV partners to help pull you out of this hole. Like, they're TV partners for a reason. They cut you a check. They put your game on TV. That's the whole point. So my point here, what I'm getting at is, I just don't feel like there's too much new in this situation. I feel like we're getting more of the same out of the Pac-12 in terms of leadership, whether it's the commissioner's office or the J.D. Wickers of the world. We're still not any further along, in my opinion, in terms of who's going to win this battle between the Pac-12 and the Mountain West. I still feel like we're kind of in the same spot, and the days are just burning away here. And yet here we are again, and we're going to get to this in a little while. But, you have this house settlement situation now that people are trying to figure out how to get around. Like the Pac-12 and their schools don't have all day to just sit here and do absolutely nothing. And that's kind of what I feel like is happening. There are days going by. You have the J.D. Wickers of the world talking about artificial timelines that are clearly not realistic. And we've heard absolutely nothing since, I don't know what, November, December, like about any type of update. I guess the Teresa Gould interview, I suppose.
I think that, and I'm happy to play the bite, and you look at this scenario, and I think that you're exactly right about the transformational partnership bite. And the thing that I keep coming back to, and I don't mean to be redundant, this is who this conference has always been. They talk when they don't need to talk. They go on the Wilner, butthole podcast and talk about back of the envelope calculations. And that blew up in their face. Like, everything that this conference says in these, and again, I think it matters. Look at the background where J.D. Wicker was. And that's why we put this picture up here. He's just sitting on a stage talking to a bunch of bros.
This is about as casual as it would get. Cause this event right here is supposed to be about, like, hey, we're going to get some, big air quotes, fan engagement. Like, it's going to be more casual. We're going to have some media members come out, but we're also going to have some boosters and donors and supporters on our concourse here. Like that's what that's about.
But he shows up in red pants occasionally, which I think that's admirable. I have respect for that.
Come on, dude.
But my point is, this is, I say that because this is just a fan event where he, I think, just feels comfortable. Like, oh, I can say anything I want. And I understand. Okay, J.D. Wicker, dude, I think, and we've said this on the show, you're a hack. Like, I think the guy is not a good administrator, in my opinion. I think that beyond this Pac-12 situation, there are administrative issues there. Like, it just is what it is, right? But if it was just J.D. Wicker and Teresa Gould was locked like into a zone of awesomeness and execution, maybe we would all feel different about the Pac-12. Unfortunately, she's not.
The one thing I keep saying to potential partners is, given where we are as a league, I don't want these partnerships to be transactional partnerships. I don't want this to be a media rights partner writing us a check and televising a bunch of games. We need these partnerships to be transformational at this point, and for somebody to really jump in with us and say, we want to help elevate and reimagine the new Pac-12.
Yeah. She is never going to live that bite down. And I say that because talking to a TV guy this morning, because I've been trying to figure out, like, hey, where is the Pac-12 and the Mountain West in mediation? Have they picked out a mediator? Are we closer to a deal? Like, I was talking to a guy about the Pac-12 deal, and they truly believe that they are not the product. And that there's people in TV who believe that the Pac-12, and use ESPN, use whoever you want, they want their TV partner to be the reason that people go there and they find the Pac-12's game. Not, oh, well, the Pac-12 is on ESPN, so I better go to ESPN. And it should be the other way around. Yes, you want them to cut you a check and produce your games, and you want to reap a windfall from that.
So let's review, because this is I was not aware of this. I did not know that about this conversation that you had. So let's review. Essentially, the Pac-12 wants a handout. Like, let's be really clear about this. What the Pac-12 is saying is, hey, we want to be in a place where we're on ESPN, just as an example. It could be Prime, whatever. We want to be on a network that people run into our product because they were here maybe looking for whatever, and our ESPN pushed us on the homepage.
Cut us a check and then blow our product up. Put it everywhere, all over the place.
So cut us a check and push our stuff as much as possible and help us.
That's the transformation they're looking for. And on the surface of it, you'd be like, okay, I guess I understand that. But if you're the Pac-12 and you're talking about a $15 million per year per school price tag, you're the one who's got to bring the value to the network or to the TV partner, not the TV partner bringing you the value.
Now they have a bunch of Power 5 teams, Power 4 teams in their league right now, right? They've got a bunch of
national champions in basketball and they've got
who's on the graphic, right? Actually, that they put out, right? They've got a bunch of powerhouses on this graphic, right?
They don't.
Oh,
they don't.
So you mean to tell me when Teresa Gould was at the Elite Eight tournament in San Francisco over the weekend on TV that she wasn't seeing she wasn't seeing one of her future partners in those games?
But I think that's the point.
Like,
what value? Everything in sales is value for value, right?
Yeah.
So I just look at the Pac-12 in this situation with J.D. Wicker and with these comments by Teresa Gould. I just look at it as the same old Pac-12. They're not going to collapse. They're not going to die because, frankly, they do offer value in that they can be a nice late window piece of content for somebody, whether that is the C-Dub, whether that is, because remember now the CW doesn't have live golf anymore. The CW is I think going to do a lot more live football.
Mm-hmm.
CW I think is still the best place for them. It's regional. It's in all their markets. But okay, let's say TNT. Let's say they somehow wind up taking the Mountain West TV, whatever it is. That's the value. It's not must-see TV because of Fresno State playing San Diego State.
But isn't part of this conversation too, though, with this TV deal about the Pac-12's pride, right? Because we know it's not just, it's never been about just getting a deal, right? It's always been about, hey, what level of deal are we getting? What
I think
not only what network, what partner, but what's the monetary value? When are we going to be on? Are we going to be mostly stream versus linear? Like the Pac-12 has always really pushed that envelope.
But isn't this why Gloria Nevarez, in my opinion, has a leg up on somebody like Teresa Gould? She's not out here talking about how transformational partner or how this date drop dead, we're going to have a new deal. Or you look at what Gloria Nevarez has said. And I know every Pac-12 hyena tells me that I just, slurp up to Gloria and whatever. I happen to think her messaging is much better. And when you listen to her talk about their TV deal, it makes a lot of sense. How is your relationship with your TV partners from your perspective? And B, how close do you actually think you are to getting a new media rights deal for the Mountain West Conference?
So we've had long-term partnerships with CBS and Fox at the Mountain West. And of course, I've been in this business for 30 years. So of course, it's a small world when it comes to that. We've known each other for decades. So we do have very strong relationships with those two. And we are working with them on what a new media would look like. I am very, very confident, 100% confident. We will have a media deal. When it will be finalized and what it will be, that's still in the works. And these things take time and we're ahead of schedule. So while we're moving with urgency, I don't think we have a rush to hit a deadline.
See, like that's a perfect answer. That is her saying, "Hey, I am 100% confident we're going to get a deal done. We don't need, as a conference, we don't need to feel like we're in a rush to get a deal
There's
done.
no
It's
panic.
Not, there's no panic or hysteria or oh my god.
She just handles it
Yeah.
better.
And
She's
I thought
more polished.
that the portion about, hey, these things take time, and we are, if you look at the negotiating timeline, we are actually ahead of schedule.
And they are.
Although it feels like it's taking a while, we are actually ahead of schedule when you look at the total picture. That's a totally different message than what you're getting, apples to apples, JD Wicker, right? That's a totally different message. I mean, JD is out here saying, hey, we're, at that time, again, and I do, and this is maybe me being a red ass a little bit, but I, at the time, and I still believe it, think he was trying to be cute with the whole MOU jargon. I think if he was really trying to send a strong, unified message, he would have just said, hey, we expect to have a media rights deal done by, this time, if he was so committed to a timeline.
A media rights deal to be done in short order. We are talking to some of the biggest names in television, and that's going to take time because we're not going to settle for anything but the best deal possible. That's what he should have said if he was going to say anything. What he should have said is, I defer to Teresa Gould on that, but I want you to know, hey, I'm quite confident we're going to have a really solid media rights package for you.
And San Diego State is committed to competing at the highest level.
And San Diego State is we are going to do everything we have to do to win games in every one of our sports.
Yeah.
That's all he should have said.
That's what you should have said.
But he didn't. So I guess my question is, how confident are you that the Pac-12 gets a deal done? I'm 100% confident. I think it is an $8 to $10 million deal at the most. And this is what I said to Gloria Nevarez when she was on the show, the commissioner of the Mountain West. Can both conferences get a deal that allows you to survive and thrive? The answer is no. I've asked that to 100 people, and I do not think that there is $20 million a year out there. And I don't, even if there is $20 million out there, I don't think that helps both these conferences thrive. I really don't. It's not enough money. When you look at what you were talking about with the House settlement, and you have conferences and universities and athletic directors and coaches trying to figure out how to get back under the table. Now it's not a problem to pay a guy directly, but now we still yet have to find ways to get under the table and pay him, which is just outlandish to me. But when you're only making a small amount a year, $10 million per year, that's a very challenging scenario. And again, what Gloria openly and honestly talked about, not all of her members are going to opt into that.
Yeah, well, and I think the interesting part of the House settlement thing is Ross Dellinger had this article a few days ago. It's been an ongoing conversation, but I think what people, and when I say people, administrators in college athletics are starting to understand is that, yeah, I mean, if we're a mid-major or not in a power conference, and we're just not operating at a level financially that we can afford a $20 million buy-in that's going up year after year, how can we work around that, right? We've talked so much on the show about how schools are going to find a way, right? I mean, you have Dr. Scott, from Memphis telling you that some of his members are going to pay more, some will pay less. But the point is that ultimately when it starts to come out, when you start to see smoke that, hey, we're going to opt out of the House settlement publicly and officially, but we're still, our school and our boosters and our donors are damn well going to be, pushing money into our athletic department. We are going to find a way through our network of people to pay these kids in a private fashion under the table so that we can still have a $7 to $10 million NIL basketball roster. That's dangerous territory for college athletics.
Jackson on Twitter X continues to push this narrative that so many are. And Jackson, I don't mean to pick on you, and I appreciate you watching the show on Twitter, talking about how when Stanford and Cal come back to the Pac-12, ask yourself why Stanford and Cal would come back to the Pac-12.
Okay, so the obvious, the thing that everyone goes to as well is geographic, Monty. It's there. It works better. It saves them a bunch of money. But what's the problem with that? With that take, you're in the ACC, making ACC money already, and you're not going to take that large of a step back to make your flights shorter.
Yeah.
With all due respect,
I know that so many people in Stanford and Cal country, and I love you guys. You're on this show, San Francisco and the Bay Area. Really, the state of California powers this show in a lot of different ways. You guys are fantastic. I just don't see Stanford and Cal. Again, how are you going to get out of that grant of rights? Like you went through all of this to get into the ACC. It makes no financial sense. I agree it would be a huge win for the Pac-12, but are you really going to step away from a P4 to go to a struggling G5 conference?
No.
Financially, that would be devastating in my opinion.
Yeah, and I also think you look at what Andrew Luck is doing and this whole Frank Reich thing, and talking about you want to talk about sending a message and kind of setting a heading for your football
program. You mean Andy
program.
Luck?
Yeah, Andy Luck. Andy Luck. You look at what Andy Luck is doing. He set a heading for that football program and said we're not going to accept anything less than the best, and if we have to wait, we'll wait.
Firing Troy Taylor was the only option.
Yeah,
and this is what I like about what Stanford and Andy Luck are all about. I like that Andrew Luck said we're not doing it that way. You're out of here. And go read about it. I don't want to detail the allegations on the show, but what I'm telling you is Stanford did the right thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't see a scenario. I don't know. You guys in the comment section, do you agree with Jackson that would be an option? I don't know. Jeremy Bolton, hello. Good to see you on the afternoon. Greg Hill says ridiculous. Yeah, I don't see any way.
Yeah.
Monty in the evening, Boyd Lake says the SEO King of America. Good to see you. Gene Calderon. Tier 2 ACC payments would be more than Pac-12 media rights. I would agree with that. It just doesn't make a lot of sense, in my opinion. John Hamm. One school that should be embarrassed is Alabama. SEC money, and they field 11 varsity sports. When I heard that, I thought it was a lie. But I don't. When you say embarrassed, why should they be embarrassed about that?
Yeah.
I think everybody's in charge of their own business model. They're all running not so small businesses, right? The conferences, the presidents and athletic directors, they're all running their own small business. That's what I hope people understand, that's what athletics are. Athletics are, pulled away from universities budget-wise, and yet feed those universities.
Mm-hmm.
They operate very differently. The money, like we're talking about paying, I don't know who's getting paid right now. Micah Parsons, $40 to $50 million a year. Is that real world money? No, that's monopoly money. That's make believe. It's not real, right? So at Washington State, for instance, when the faculty had a sit-in, allegedly and not so allegedly, and they had to freeze the budget, and Kirk Schultz had to release that statement. Yeah, why did he have to do that? Because the people at Washington State were tired of the monopoly money.
Mm-hmm.
It's not fucking real.
It's not real, man. Like 21 times a month. That's real. If you want 11 varsity sports, I say knock yourself out.
Yeah.
Patrick, Pac-12 will collapse before it even gets off the ground. I don't think so. I do not think so. I've never thought that. I think they'll get a small media rights deal, and they're going to have to go and sell their asses off to maximize it.
Yeah, I think the message that gets sent through the size of their media rights deal is going to be crucial to their survival. I think if you get a media rights deal that isn't universally regarded as a great deal, then that's not going to be great for the Pac-12, and I think that makes it difficult. Blue
Turf, I thought the health of the athletes was number one, Monty. I think in 9 out of 10 cases it is. Where have we said it's not? Do you mean Stanford and Cal?
Yeah, but the health of the athlete isn't going to, that only goes so far. The health of the athlete matters, and yeah, it's going to cost Stanford and Cal more money to be in the ACC, but you're not going to, I don't think people think these things through. You're not going to go from making ACC power conference money to what you're going to make $10 million a year at most in the Pac-12. Are you kidding? Dude, they're dropping deuces and wiping it with $10 million at Stanford, dude. They need to win games, get into the CFP, and make 50, 60, 70.
But again, I think in 9 out of 10 places, like there's no question at Memphis that Dr. Ed Scott, the athletic director at Memphis, puts the health and safety of his student athletes and staff before pretty much anything else. At Stanford, they have the money to do the same thing. Look at the money they are spending on facilitating academics with their travel schedule. Basketball and football at Stanford now fully charter in both men's and women's basketball now, which had not always been the case. Fully charter. You have an unbelievable amount of human infrastructure that was added to the Stanford athletic department, including, I don't know, Andrew Luck, right? Like, who is not a cheap guy. They have the money and they are spending the money. My biggest concern when it comes to student health and welfare is a smaller school like a Texas State or that's why it makes so much sense for Utah to join, or UTEP to join the Mountain West, because they're not traveling coast to coast. I think when you get into these smaller conferences, USF is a very good example of this. Does it make sense for USF to leave the AAC to go to the Pac-12 when the majority of their travel will be from the middle of Florida to the West Coast? Can you imagine? Can you imagine going from Florida to Corvallis, Oregon to play a one basketball game? And then you're going to shoot over to Spokane and hopefully you're going to get Oregon State, Washington State, and Gonzaga, hopefully, on a basketball trip. How many days is that?
Right.
That's at least a week to Gonzaga, right? That's at least a week to play those 3 games because you're not playing every other day, right? Think about that. Think about the logistics of USF softball. You think they're chartering? They're not chartering for softball. Do you think they're chartering for Ed Scott talking about, you think they're chartering for soccer? Let that sink in. So when you talk about, and you're being smug with your comment, but it is less of an impact at the P4 level, and it's significant impact at the G5 level because you're making significant less money.
Yeah.
So Brandon Butler, hello. The only way Stanford and Cal go back to the PAC is if they opt out and the Super League happens.
Agreed. You would need something like that, but I doubt they would opt out.
I doubt they would opt out.
Yeah, I doubt they would opt out.
Welcome to the nightmare. What would be such a horrible financial decision by Cal and Stanford to go back? That really would be. Yeah. I mean, you can't even, I don't think, calculate the damage that financial decision would do.
Yeah.
TJ Beck, I could see Stanford drop football one day. Really?
Nah.
I don't think so.
Respectfully, if that were to happen, that day ain't anytime soon, bro.
And because I think, again, look at what is the original purpose of athletics, the NCAA, as a body, and college sports in general?
Enrollment.
To power enrollment, to bring a higher level of visibility to your brand.
Buddy wants to play football at your school because of the coach, and that means he's got to enroll.
Yes, exactly right. Why does BYU spend so much money on advertising, marketing, branding? Well, because they want more butts in the seats, not on Saturday, but on Sunday for church. Everybody's got a mission, right? Everybody's got a goal. Yeah, quite literally at BYU. Everybody's got a goal. You are working. If you're BYU, you're working to power the church. If you're Stanford, you're working to power your academics. Like, every university has a goal that they must meet through athletics to power academics.
Mm-hmm.
Sal Capone, my sources tell me that after Stanford and Cal go back, USC, Oregon, Washington. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly right. Exactly right. ACC Commissioner Gumby, TJ Beck. I'm over Wilcox. Dude's likable, but got to produce results, and he hasn't. Really good human being. But you have not won nearly enough. The Bears have been barely over par for so long. We need the second coming of Jeff Tedford. The biggest mistake Cal football ever made, and probably Cal athletics, And Gumby, you might agree or disagree. When you renovated the stadium in Berkeley, it just dropped a financial bomb on that university. And you've never recovered from it, in my opinion. And it is, man, you talk about what Jeff Tedford meant to that program and what that program was. Oh, my goodness.
Program.
Man. That is, yeah. Brandon Butler, if the Mountain West Conference plays hardball, they could put the PAC in the ground. The question is, are they willing to suffer to make it happen? Well, I've talked to 5 people, both at the university level and sources across the situation. I don't believe that they have selected a mediator. I think the single biggest question between the Pac-12 and the Mountain West, and I'm sure most people know this, on, I think it was March 14th, a stay was entered on the poaching fees lawsuit between the two conferences, which essentially is, hey, we're going to put a pause button on this for 2 months. And they still have not selected a mediator. And I've heard some names that are being thrown around. I don't think they have an idea of who that mediator is going to be necessarily. I don't know that they agree.
And again, I just don't think the Mountain West needs to be in any type of rush to get mediation done. I mean,
well, they're hanging on. They're not. The biggest problem here is that you still have the exiting members of the Mountain West on the board of directors. Are you going to be talking openly and honestly about future business with those guys on your board of directors? Not beyond this coming year, you're not. Like, you should be, you're not planning this coming cycle.
Mm-hmm.
You're not planning 2025, 26. That's done. You're looking forward and planning for 26, 27, 27, 28. Like, you're trying to make plans into the future. Right now, the Mountain West can't do that. And I think it is is it a problem? Yeah, it's a problem. Is it a huge problem? No. But it's definitely holding up business being done.
Yeah, I mean, I think, I don't disagree. It's not ideal to have these exiting members on your board. There's no question about that. But I think it would be naive to just skip over the fact that people talk outside of, board meetings. So I don't, and maybe I'm wrong, but I don't personally believe that this is privately is holding them up really at all. I think that people, when they're in situations, find a way to get it done and find a way to be on the same page. And really, this is only going to become a problem when you talk about, getting closer to things needing to be planned. It was the whole concept of the scheduling alliance, right? Why'd the scheduling alliance get done? Well, you ran out of time, right? You had to do something, and so they did. And so I think it's kind of this chicken and the egg kind of situation where, again, I agree with Brandon Butler. I've always maintained, I think if the Mountain West wanted to, they could crush the Pac-12 from a leverage standpoint. I think that the Mountain West already has a media rights deal. They're working on an extension. They've got great relationships. And by the way, they have all the leverage in court. So I don't know. My opinion is, I think, the Mountain West isn't going to crush them. I think what the Mountain West is going to do is they're going to try to find a middle ground that is palatable for them to accept, with the exit fees, and try to move along with life. Because again, to your point, being in, strife and consternation this long sucks, but you have to find an amenable outcome.
A year and a half ago, I'll just continue to say it. December 2023, the Mountain West threw a life ring into the ocean. And Oregon State and Washington State took it. And anybody telling you that, oh, they signed this contract, this scheduling agreement under duress, is full of it. They knew what they were doing. They've admitted they knew what they were doing. If you read we knew it was an illegal term of the contract, a stipulation for, these poaching fees, but we were going to fight it in court. So sign it. It doesn't matter. Well, it does matter, because we're talking about $150 million. And I think the Mountain West, I think, is in the right way. If we ever get in front of a judge, contract law is pretty black and white.
Yeah. And precedent's pretty black and white too.
But this is never going before a judge. This is not going before a judge. The biggest question is, how much will the Mountain West end up seeing in those poaching fees? Will it be the full 150? No. Will it be none? No. All the Pac-12, yard barkers out there saying, "Oh, we're not paying a penny." Okay.
Yeah,
well,
I mean,
good luck with that.
My sticking point with percentages would be no less than half of what you originally agreed to. I think it's a slap in the face to the Mountain West if you agree to 30 or 40% of what the original numbers were, let's say. I think my starting point would be 75% of what we originally agreed to. I think, I would be, and frankly, when it comes to negotiating things, I'm the nicer one usually on the show when it comes to sticking it to people in terms of negotiating and court stuff. But my starting point would probably be 75%. And my hope would be that you would get out of this thing at 60 to 65%. And you have to, at some point as a commissioner or as a legal professional representing the commissioner, understand that, hey, like, this is our number. You guys are going to do this or we're going to go to court and you're going to lose. Like, that's how this has to go, in my opinion.
I think you look at the whole genesis of this, and I know you're going to hate that I say this Pac-12 hyenas issue. Hit the like button, please. This all comes down to the mistake that Teresa Gould made when she declined to talk about a merger. Because again, as we've reported exclusively on the show, Mountain West has multiple times suggested a merger and asked for conversations around it, and the Pac-12 said no. The Pac-12, and I don't know how many people know this, the Pac-12 paid $14 million a year to the Mountain West to play those games in that scheduling agreement. The Pac-12 wanted to reduce that. The Mountain West wanted to increase that. And that's how we got here.
Mm-hmm.
Because the Pac-12 wanted to pay less for the lifeline that they were gifted.
Which I also just want to point out, that's business as usual in the Pac-12. Hey, pay us ridiculous money in our media rights deals.
Yeah.
And we're going to try to be as cheap as possible.
I just disagree with the way that the Pac-12 has handled this whole thing. I think with poaching, taking, whatever it is, there was one right answer here, and that was to merge. It was the clearly right thing to do, to merge.
The pragmatic solution.
And I love everybody who's like, well, but we would have had a bunch of bad teams. So again, I'm just going to put this. I'm just going to say this again. Yeah. You didn't want to merge, and this is what all the Pac-12 hyenas will tell you. Well, we can't merge, Monty. We'd have had all these crappy teams.
Pac-10.
Okay, well, I'm just asking now. Outside of Gonzaga, what do you got on this graphic?
Gonzaga.
You got a bunch of crappy teams from the Mountain West. Those are your words. That's who you would have been.
You don't get to have it both ways.
This is who you would have been anyway. And you would have been able to add UNLV, and you would have been able to add Air Force, and you would have been able to strengthen your position, go to the TV market, get more money.
Let's merge under the guise of the Pac-12.
Go to the market under the Pac-12 brand, both in media rights and branding deals. You would have had a really strong, in my opinion, you'd have been in a much better place football-wise.
But what did we say? We said the Mountain West will not agree to a merger unless Teresa Gould is sitting on top of it.
The Pac-12 will not agree to a merger unless Teresa Gould's the commissioner.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was a huge part of it. I truly do.
Yeah.
Because there's nobody that would have picked Teresa Gould over. Nobody's picking Teresa Gould over Gloria Nevarez.
No.
There's just you put the body of work next to each other and you're just not doing that.
Yeah.
There's accomplishments and then there's failures. Period. And
Yes.
I just keep going back to this whole thing about the Mountain West, and you can't tell me that the Pac-12 is so significantly better off going forward when the Mountain West has New Mexico, Northern Illinois, UNLV, Air Force, like
the Hawaii
Wyoming
situation getting worked out. Like,
I think you have a situation where you're neither one of them is exponentially better than the other. They should merge, and they just won't. So all of that to say,
we don't hate the Pac-12. Right?
No, it's just disappointing that bad decisions continue
yeah.
to be made.
Yeah, I mean,
that's what it is.
Really, in the bigger picture, it's disappointing that a merger is not going to happen, and we're not going to get a nice, clean-cut consolidation solution, because that's what this is. I mean, that in the bigger national picture, that's what this is. A bunch of schools left and went to other conferences, and you're trying to pick up the pieces, otherwise known as consolidation.
And I just will again say, where are these universities? All of them, Pac-12, Mountain West, where are they in the Super League? And I'll just put the Pac-12 graphic back up, and I ask
That's a great point.
How many of these logos are in a Super League? 2 or 3, maybe.
Oh, I think that's pushing it.
It ain't Utah State.
I think at one time, Oregon State would have been in the conversation.
Oh, I think anymore. Oregon State will be there. I don't think Washington State has the money to do it. Because remember, again, and I just will remind you, we're talking about an uptick in spending from the G5 level to go to a Super League, probably close to $750 million.
Which is just wild.
In facilities, infrastructure, humanity, it's probably $750 million minimum.
Mm-hmm.
How many of these schools have that? Well, Oregon State and Washington State already have it. They just in facilities alone. But you can't tell me that Boise State's not going to be tight on that. Are they going to put the money up? I have to believe they would. Colorado State, Fresno State, Gonzaga doesn't count as basketball only. San Diego State, I think will try. It will be tight. Not a chance in the world will Utah State be there. Not a chance in the world. And I'll continue to tell you, neither one of these conferences is going to thrive.
Yeah.
They need to come together. They need to merge, and they need to move forward as one.
And I think the word sustainable is the key word that you guys should be kind of holding on to as this plays out over the next, because I still think we've still got runway on this. I mean, we've still got probably a year, I think, before this is all said and done, at least, in my opinion. I could be wrong.
See.
Maybe it's less, but.
Well, remember, at the latest, what is it, June 1st? The exiting members of the Mountain West have to give written notice and pay their $5,000. That's when they can be removed from the board of directors, right? Because that's a year notice. Like, we're coming down to it. And my guess is, I would think it's got to be a matter of days or weeks that we get a mediator. Yeah.
There's got to be.
That's where this is going.
Yeah.
And it's a matter of who is going to help negotiate a deal between these two parties. And does mediation eventually work, or will they wind up in court? Because you only have a 60-day window here.
Yeah.
So I don't exactly know the upshot of it.
Yeah, it's just a shame that it's so clunky. It's a shame that it's just so like
because it never had to be that way
and clunky. You're right. It never had to be this way. Could have easily put a merger together. Could have easily done a couple of press conferences talking about revamping the Pac-12 in a proper fashion, and like it would have been fine.
Yep,
but you didn't.
I agree. TJ back. Ed Scott is going to an SEC or Big Ten school someday soon. He's elite. He is elite.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. Welcome to the nightmare. Stanford and Cal going back is like going from eating filet mignon to spam.
Well, that's what I mean. I just don't think
baloney, not spam, like baloney.
Yeah, I know that financially that makes absolutely zero sense.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Blue Turf. If a Super League comes about, a West Coast division will be developed with all those teams. I don't think so.
Nah, because I don't think they can afford it, bro. I don't disagree that a Super League has to have a West Coast contingent, certainly.
Absolutely.
But you can't honestly sit here and think that Utah State or whoever the hell you want to look at there is just going to be, sign us up for $750 million.
What math works out that has Fresno State, Utah State, Again, throw out Gonzaga. They don't play football. Super League is football only. I mean, Washington State is going to have a fight on their hands. If you got to cut a $500 million check,
bro,
can Washington State really do that? Because you're already looking at the majority of these G5 schools not paying, not wanting to opt into revenue sharing. Look at the AAC talking about a minimum of $10 million. And it be over, 3 years?
Mm-hmm.
Talking about $3.3 million to pay your players over 3 years. That's not a Super League. The money doesn't add up.
And by the way, I also think there's a want to part of the conversation. Not all these schools want to
I totally agree with
spend the money, even if they had it. I don't like, you can't just sit here and be like, yep, they have it, they're doing it. No, I don't think that's the case. I do think that
don't think so either.
Are many schools out there, and as usual in life with any situation, there will be surprises of a school where you're like, yeah, that school should be in the Super League. Yeah, it turns out they actually didn't want to spend the money. They felt like it would be a better option to step down, compete at a higher level, and move along.
Plus, building anything in the state of California costs
It's a joke, dude. It's an absolute joke.
Exactly right, Gumby.
So
yes.
Again, if we use the example of Oregon and Washington State, Washington State, I agree. They have power conference level facilities. There's no question about that. But again, it's this whole concept of, and this is what I'm trying to get you guys to understand. Bro, they're not competing in the college football playoff right now. They're not competing in deep tournament run after deep tournament. Like, they don't have just revenue checks pouring in right now.
Think about how important Boise State going to the college football playoff was to the Mountain West. Huge. Think about how important the basketball runs in the Pac-12 and the Mountain West are going to be. Huge. Because we're just talking about like the bare minimum. One team a year from the G5 goes to the college football playoff. Multiple teams in the Mountain West don't go. Multiple teams in the Pac-12 or the AAC don't go. One team from the G5. And if we expand, as I've told you, 14, in my opinion, and from what my sources are telling me, 14's the number. 8 of that is going to be the Big Ten and the Pac-12. 8 of that's going to be the SEC and the Big Ten.
Pac-10.
2 more of that's the Big 12. 2 more of that is the ACC. 1 of those is Notre Dame. And then 1 of those is a G5.
And look at this past season.
And that's just right now.
Look at this. Who's competing for that final spot with Boise State? Well, UNLV was, right? We remember the championship game for the Mountain West and all the implications. We remember, picking that game on the show and going through that game.
Yeah.
And, what were they going to be able to stop Jincy? We remember that, man. And I just think it is, dude, it's wishful thinking. If you think 2 things, number one, the G5 is going to get more opportunity to play with the big boys. You're out of your damn mind. That's not happening.
Yeah, I
that
just
is
don't.
Not on any planet happening in the college football playoff.
Yeah.
You're going to stay at one spot. But then secondly, this concept of, hey, every school just wants to be bananas in spending on athletics. That's not true. It's philosophical. It's school to school.
All right. Let's run through a bunch of comments. Car Wash Channel says Pac-12 is just wasting money. And the legal fees are. Again, why did the Mountain West initiate mediation? It's the prudent business move. Let's get this settled because again, if you go to court and let's say you win $150 million, right? The judge, because I think that would be the outcome. This goes all the way through court. Aren't you losing money versus going to mediation, settling, and not paying attorneys, paying a mediator instead of attorneys? You're saving a lot of money, probably millions at that point, just in billable hours, because the lawyers are the ones who always win. So listen, everybody can say, well, the Mountain West, they're weak. They know they're in trouble. Okay, cool. Well, then you guys go to court and pay the lawyers. The Mountain West will be over here trying to mediate this and avoid lawyers' fees and save money and put money back in their pocket. and get those guys off the board of directors sooner rather than later. Because that's what makes all the sense in the world. It really does. Gene Calderon. California Memorial Stadium is a registered historic structure and sits on an earthquake fault. You can't build anything else there. So choice was not to use it. It sits empty or renovate, and then it falls into a hole. It falls into a schism. The money that Jeff Tedford raised, and ultimately, it's so funny. Jeff Tedford and Todd Graham
did.
And I don't know if we have ASU fans on the show. Listen, I'm going to try and say this gently. Your stadium sucks. Right? Like, the only thing that I appreciate about ASU's crap hole of a football stadium is the Pat Tillman statue.
Yeah.
I don't know what in the hell this is. My wife, who has, spent some time at ASU, and I showed my wife this picture today, and she threw up. Now, she also has terrible flu, and she is ravaged by, some death virus.
It really hit me.
So that might. Anyway, the point is, my wife agrees with me that this is horrible. What are you doing? What are you, Boise State?
That's what I'm saying,
Did
dude.
that used to be blue and the sun turned it red? Is that Herm Edwards' blood on the field?
Yeah.
What are you out of your mind?
Well, Monty, it's the tears of the Sun Devil. That's why it's maroon.
Bro, hey, you notice what is still there? Oh, yeah, all the concrete. Let me get this right. You're in the middle of the desert, so you built your entire stadium out of exposed concrete.
That's insane.
Who wouldn't? Bro, no, the answer is no, absolutely not. That sucks. Okay. Yeah, no. Gilbert Chavez. I probably got a little too uppity over that. Teresa Gould would be out of a job if they merge. Maybe that's why she doesn't want to. Could be. Johnny Gonzalez. You murked instead of merged. Ooh. Zigged instead of zagged.
Yes.
See, zigged, Gonzaga, Gonzaga.
Oh, is that what you were trying to do?
Gonzaga.
Yeah.
Gonzaga.
Kevin Sampson. Hey, look, Big Daddy Magic.
Okay, I'm gonna take a wild guess here. This is a Bills reference or a Victor reference.
Victor's the way.
I think Gage is $69 million in total. I'd make him shave Oregon State Beaver mascot twice a year. Okay.
Man, wow, dude. That's just whew.
Wow. Gumby with a question mark. Jimmy Otson. Hello, Jimmy. Egos are keeping a merger from happening. A hundo P. Loner Phone. Hello. Good to see you. Real World Game Nation stuff. LOL Pac-12 cooged it. Well, they cooged it. Hey, look at that. The stadium guy, James. Good to see you, James. I wouldn't trust Teresa Gould to walk my dog. Gloria Navarez. Well, and now that Jake's a dog owner, he's an expert. Just ask him. He'll tell you. Gloria Navarez is the best G5 commissioner. I would agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
Wyoming produces the beloved MVP Josh Allen. You put respect on Wyoming's name. Well, who doesn't love good old Laramie or Wyoming?
Nice crap round uniforms there,
A reverse merge PAC AAC makes for interesting weekend TV. It does, but how much money is the Pac-12 willing to give up to get the members of the AAC? That's the question. Which of the Bulldogs on that graphic is female just asking for a friend? TJ? Why?
Bro.
Why, TJ? See?
It's so good.
It is. Actually, it's really good. It's really, really good. When do they actually need to have a media deal so they can continue? The Pac-12 needs one yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
The Mountain West has a deal for another year. My guess is both will have one by the end of the summer. That'd be my guess. So hit the like button, please, folks. Yes, please hit the like button. With over 1,000 people watching the show on Twitter, Facebook, all over the gint. We appreciate you guys. Listen, if you're on Twitter, Facebook, Spotify, please come over to YouTube. Find The Monty Show, Monty, The Monty Show. Subscribe to the channel. Give us a like. It really helps the channel grow. Big changes to be announced shortly on the audio side of this here program. Really excited about what we have for you there. Johnny Gonzalez, my Bologna has a first name. It's Pacay. My Bologna has a second name. It's 6, 7, or 8, which is why people refer to it as the PAC. This is true. Jay McClanahan. If I were Oregon State, I would call Jensen Huang to see if he could spare some extra seat cushion money for their athletics, dude. I really don't think Oregon State is struggling financially.
No, it just it changes levels in conversation depth when you start talking about $750 million checks.
I would well, that's true.
Like that changes things.
Yes, James is in the house. I think the beaver is female.
What are we doing? So have we reached, is this like the meat gazing portion? Is that what we're doing?
The meat gazing.
Yeah, is that what we're doing in the comments now?
Okay. Maury Alvarez, Fresno State is the female. Okay.
I don't even know what that means.
Like, what's a female dog, Jake?
Mm-hmm.
See,
I'm not saying
ding.
it. I'm not saying it.
You know, what if Hawaii is the key and you could use all that tourism NIL? Well, listen, I think I need to grab my wife a week from now will be in Hawaii, and that's disgusting. Actually, she won't be in Hawaii. What's today, Tuesday? She'll be coming back from Hawaii, and I'll be in lovely, freezing ass cold Chicago. How nice. Waiting for the Texas Rangers game to get snowed out at Wrigley.
Bring your hoodie. Oh, great.
I quite literally cannot catch a break with if I had a net, I couldn't catch.
Oh,
a break.
you're traveling to Egypt? Yeah, it's going to be 30 and snow.
Yeah, we're going to need to get some rain and snow. Oh, you're traveling to the hottest desert? Yeah, unfortunately, you'll need an umbrella there, Monty. Hey, Monty. Like anywhere I go, it rains and it's cold, and it's not golf weather. And you and I both know on this show in middle of July, I'm going to be bitching about how it's too hot. You know.
Well, I need SPF 871 so I don't get burnt.
I'm going to Chicago. We're dark next week, by the way. I know you guys are really excited about that. We're dark next week because we're going to Chicago to shoot a bunch of content around the Cubs.
It's not a darkness retreat. We're just not doing shows.
Right. We didn't move to Florida, so we're not physically darker like Rosikowski said.
Right.
Like, who makes that kind of comment? Anyway, so let me get this right. I'm going to Chicago next week. Here's the weather in Chicago. Today, it's a high of 44. Tomorrow, 68 and sunny.
Nice.
Tuesday, 62 and sunny. Wednesday, 53 and sunny. I arrive on Thursday, 39 on Thursday with a chance of rain. Friday for the Cubs home opener, 44 degrees and cloudy. Saturday,
dude,
for the party, 43 and heavy rain, chances of snow.
So what you're saying is that we're gonna be chilling in the Windy City, watching the Final Four in the hotel room.
Probably.
That's what you're.
No, I won't be in a hotel room.
I'll be trying to tell me.
I'll be at the Art Institute. I'll be at Science and Industry. I'll be at Superdog. I'll be at the Chicago Symphony Orchestra. I ain't sitting in a hotel room in Chicago. I'm not doing it. Sunday for the doubleheader because Saturday's going to get snowed out. A mighty 44 degrees.
Wow.
But no precipitation in the forecast.
Well, and you know, the Cubs have a much better tarp situation than the White Sox do. So, I mean, you know, at least there's that.
What did I ever do to Mother Nature that she hates me? That's the thing that you have to ask yourself.
It is what it is.
You know, it is what it is. So, which is fine. All right, let's run through a couple more because then we got to get to the NFL. Stadium Guy James, all these Beaver references make me think of.
Really, bro?
How I Met Your Mother and the so-called kids show with the Beavers.
The CAC.
You're a pastor. I don't even know what to say to that.
Hi, this is James. Welcome back.
No, not doing it. Angry Beavers. Thank you. Thank you. Zero dark money. Exactly.
Right.
You became an unbeliever,
Yeah, dude. I mean, that's literally what it is lately, bro.
Dude,
Unbelievers.
Hopefully at some point. Because we're playing Cog Hill in Chicago next week, which is a really nice course. All I'm asking is mid-50s. It don't even have to be sunny. Just give me mid-50s.
No.
Probably not. Probably not. Chicago could have a blizzard one day and a tornado the next. Hey, thanks for that. Blue turf, save a tree, eat a beaver. I'm here for it.
Wow.
I'm here for it. The stadium guy, James, can you bring back some deep dish pizza to my house? Sure.
Dude, are you calling us fat?
What, are you coming over?
Yeah.
Fat! Prize Picks, the official daily fantasy partner of the Monty Show, presents our NFL talk right here on the program. This situation with the Dallas Cowboys is, can I be one of the cool kids? Jerry Jones is he's out of pocket right now. We'll tell you why next.
Yo, you think Dallas' Power 4 gonna drop 30 tomorrow?
Boy, you tripping.
Did you see his mom made a post about going to the game?
What? Hold up. His mama gonna be there?
He's been averaging like 34 points a game when she's there.
At least 40 when she be on that Jumbotron.
He don't like to let his mama down.
Pick more, pick less. It's that easy. Cash in on your sports fandom with Prize Picks.
Prize Picks, the official daily fantasy partner of the Monty Show. Make sure you download the app, use promo code Monty. Do not ever, under any circumstances, take Malik Monk or other people's advice. I'm not trying to point people out, but don't take certain people's advice on Prize Picks on this show.
Hit 5 out of 5 in his last 5 games, and then
Monty,
the one time I take him, what does he do?
I'm you about Malik Monk, man.
God.
I mean, this could, dude, if there's a surefire pick, garbage. It's Malik Monk. And the way he gets rectal on that Ram, boy, let me tell you something. I mean, if you're not taking Malik Monk, you're not trying to win a prize.
The number was super attainable, too. It was not a really difficult number. This is what I don't understand, bro. Like, hold on. Okay, hold on.
No, what I don't understand is why I keep taking your advice.
Listen to you? Why do I ever listen to you? You're terrible. You're garbo at this. This is really embarrassing.
Download the Prize Picks app, use the promo code Monty, and don't do what Jake says, but you do deposit $5. They'll give you 50 more instantly. Super easy, man. It is as enjoyable as it could be. Prize Picks is a load of fun. And I'm telling you now that
hey, I won the baseball Prize Picks the other day. Just saying.
Well, I've won baseball Prize Picks.
Yeah,
I haven't hit on NBA Prize Picks in like 16 weeks.
Yeah.
That's
NBA stuff, bro.
NBA has gotten much more difficult at the end of the season here. The one that I think is interesting, they're free play today.
It's Taco Tuesday.
Taco Tuesday. Ja Morant for 20.5 points against the Golden State Warriors. I'm going to go more on that. I'm going to go Devin Booker, 27.5 points. I shouldn't do it because Book and the Suns, I don't even know what to say. His points, rebounds, and assist number for Book is 39.5. He hasn't hit that in 2 weeks. And they're taking on the Bucks, so I'm unfortunately going to have to go less on that.
I think I've hit it every time.
So he going to hit that. Because, well, that's what he does.
You
and then I think you got to take Giannis for more.
Mm-hmm.
I hate to do it. It's at Milwaukee. It's a big game, but I'm going to do it. Download the Prize Picks app. Open up a new account using the promo code Monty. You deposit $5. They'll give you 50 more instantly at Prize Picks. What?
The Prize Picks occasionally will try to trap you with some of their baseball demon numbers, like how far you can push it.
Dude,
Aaron Judge.
I knew you were going to say Aaron Judge.
He's on a goblin, which is an easy one, half a base, right? You can get his demon number all the way up to 5.5 total bases. More than 5.5 total bases is wild.
What do you do with Carson Kelly and the Cubs? Did you guys see Carson Kelly, the starting catcher for just about every major league team over his career?
Right.
Hit for the cycle last night. for the Cubs.
Mm-hmm.
They blew out the Oakland Sacramento River Cats A's. I'm taking Ellie De La Cruz for more than one hit, run, and RBI.
I like that a lot.
That's a gimme right now. That guy is hotter than your mom. I think. Do I stay riding Mookie Betts? Because the Mookinator has been red hot his last 6 games. Even though he weighs 37 pounds with rocks in his pockets right now, I think I'm taking the Mookinator.
Right.
And then I think I'm an unhappy person just in general. I mean, my daughter just makes me unhappy. You're supposed to say you don't have a daughter.
Yeah, I don't know who you're talking about. But,
okay, which one do I take? Kyle Tucker for the Cubs.
No.
Okay, well, that was pretty unequivocal.
Are we clear on that?
Kyle Tucker for the Cubs.
Yeah, what's the number there? What's the number there?
Or Justin Steele, 5 pitcher strikeouts. They're playing the A's. He hasn't hit that. He pushed on the Dodgers with 5. He only had 2 against the Arizona Diamondbacks.
This is at the minor league stadium
in Sacramento. Yes.
And the number is strikeout 5.5.
5 strikeouts. Does he get 6 strikeouts?
Man, I feel like that's a lot.
I feel like that's a whole lot. But I think as far as pitcher strikeouts go, then
go with Aaron Judge on total bases. He's got a goblin for half a base.
Dude, you and I both know I'm not taking your advice.
Okay, don't take it. I'm going to win 3 of 3 tonight. I got John Moran on Taco Tuesday. I got Trey Young on a goblin for 9.5 assists.
Why say it out loud?
And I've got Aaron Judge on the highest demon possible because I feel very good about my 2 of 3 winning at 5.5 total bases.
What about Dansby, 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs?
Yeah, I like that a lot. Yeah. Yep.
All right. Man, I'm telling you. I shouldn't
listen to 2 holes.
I should stay the F away from the Cubs. I just should, but I can't.
What's your favorite
I'm a
sport
sick
surprise
puppy.
pick?
Oh, baseball by far.
Yeah.
Baseball by far.
Yeah.
I think college football is probably the easiest.
Mm-hmm.
I think the NBA right now, because there's really
so difficult.
Clear-cut superstar night in and night out. I think the NBA is impossible. I think Major League Baseball, right? I've been telling you guys, the Final Four, Sweet 16, hammered it, nailed it.
Mm-hmm.
And then last night happened, and I took Malik Monk at somebody's behest. Big Daddy Magic, Nookie plays for the Dodgers. Okay.
Well, I don't know who that is.
I've never heard of Nookie.
Yeah.
If you see CM Punk in Chicago, please tell him I said hello. CM and I don't go back on.
His name is John Cena.
We don't go. I'm not going to see CM. That's not going to
Next
happen.
comment.
Nothing like that Chicago win smacking you in the face, Dustin says, dude. I cannot wait. If I've got to go to Chicago without Mrs. Monty, I at least am going to do a couple of things. I'm going to the Chicago Symphony Orchestra, and I'm seeing a world-class performance.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't go to the symphony in your local market, you're just missing out. You're not living your life.
And I'm pumped on that. I'm excited to do that too.
I'm going to Superdog. There's no doubt about that. I am going to drink Modelo at Wrigley.
We.
Tell Malik I said hello. I'm going to be drinking Modelo at Wrigley Field.
Stands and actively watching the game while I lose.
And I'll be screaming at Tile Cucker.
Hello.
Cucker.
Hello,
Cucker Tile.
Dude is so pissed about Malik Monk. He doesn't know who his first baseman is.
Kyle Tucker is a dick. He truly is. He truly is. All right, let's get to the NFL. Thanks to our friends at Prize Picks. We got to talk about the Dallas Cowboys.
Another day, and another Jerry Jones moment.
I don't know what to say about that. You just play the spider tack thing. I don't know.
I don't quite know how to answer that, to be honest.
Jerry, Jerry Mitch McConnell Jones, what are you talking about with this? Is Micah Parsons?
Not really. Are you kidding me? That's just not something that you should worry about. You should be worrying about your ability to make it work, and you should be worried about what the player does. Does he have good enough health? Does he have enough skill to do what you're paying him the money for? The agent is not a factor here, or something to worry about. And I don't know his name. And so my point is that I'm not trying to demean you in any way, but this isn't about an agent. The agent doesn't have one thing to do with what we're doing when we get on a football field against a team. Micah does.
I don't get it. I truly do not get it. I don't understand it, and I want to. I just don't. Why is Jared? He's talking about Micah Parsons' agent, who is one of the most powerful agents in the NFL, and you don't know his name?
Well, you're lying. You do know his name.
You don't know his name, but Jerry wasn't done. He has another point to make.
Micah is one of 3 individuals that has my Super Bowl number. Has my cell phone number. He asked for it about a month ago and said, I want to be able to talk to you at any time. And I said, Michael, you're one of the few, but we'll talk anytime. Call me.
Well, okay. So you're refusing to talk to Micah Parsons' agent now. That,
and I don't want to take it too far, but I do feel like this is a bit of a facade from Jerry. You go to the media after, you're done with your meetings and everything for the day, and you get on this whole bit that you guys just heard about how, like, because he and this is just a small portion of, you can go and find on YouTube. You should go and watch it.
No, don't.
He did. It must have been 15 minutes where he's talking about how the best deals are the deals when it's the guy writing the check and the guy providing the service, and those two get together, and they're just exchanging value. That's the way it should be done. And I don't mean to demean the agent. I'm not trying to put anybody down.
David Mulugeta, who's the agent, and I would remind you, what did Mulugeta negotiate? Deshaun Watson's deal in Cleveland.
So then, a couple hours go by and people are waiting for, Micah's response. And then Micah gets on X and goes full defender of his agent, which he should have done. This was the right move here, dude. But I just don't know what other result Jerry Jones doing this would have produced.
I will not be doing a deal without David Mulugeta involved. Like anyone with good sense, I hired experts for a reason. There's no one I trust more when it comes to negotiating contracts than David. There will be no back doors in this contract negotiation.
So this only works one of two ways, in my opinion, for Jerry Jones. Number one, Jerry Jones is putting up a facade. He's lying. He is grandstanding and positioning himself. That would be plan A, right? And I do think that's
what
the
benefit?
Case. Because I think that Jerry Jones, wants to try to send this message to Micah. It's why he did the whole, hey, he's got my number thing, right? Because what Jerry's trying to do here is Jerry's trying to say, okay, well, because he also later on in the this little press thing he did talked about how, well, we're the numbers are already bored out, like we've got all that done. We're just kind of working on some other things or whatever. Basically saying that they're on the same page with money and it's not really about the money anymore. So I think what Jerry's trying to do here is Jerry's trying to, for whatever reason, I think is unknown to all of us. I just think we don't know. But for whatever reason, is trying to push this whole concept of, hey, it's me and Micah. And he went on to say, there was another moment where he's like, hey, I visited. He used the word visited with Micah for 5 or 6 hours. No, you didn't visit with him, dude. You negotiated with him, right? You guys had a meeting. And so it's very clear that Jerry Jones is trying to put himself in a position publicly to say, well, hey, it's just me and Micah, and I've done this with Deion, and I did this with Emmett, and I did this with many other greats in the organization.
Help me understand the upside. That's what I'm trying. That's what I'm struggling. What is the upside? What's the win for Jerry here? Your best defensive player just said, "I'm not negotiating with you. Call my agent who I hired because he's an expert."
And I also, to that question there, it was off camera at some point to a reporter. He goes on to say something to the effect of, I would rather wait and pay more and do it right than get it done fast and pay less.
And you just overpaid CD Lamb and Dak Prescott, and now you're going to overpay Micah Parsons.
Why is it a good idea to pay more and take longer in these things?
Because he's not smart.
And you claim as well that because he was asked a question like, hey, well, if you pay Micah because the rumor going around, or not the rumor, the narrative is that Micah Parsons' contract is going to make him the highest paid non-quarterback in the league. Right, that he's going to be the highest paid position player of non-quarterbacks. And so the question posed to Jerry was, hey, well, if you're going to pay Micah that kind of money, which would be, the thought is somewhere around the $40 million range, somewhere in there, maybe a touch less, touch more, who knows, but somewhere in that range. If you're going to pay him that much money, does this mean that you don't have money for all the other folks on the roster? And Jerry's trying to sit here and claim that they can do this deal and pay everybody else. And we all know that's not the case.
How many deals are you going to renegotiate? You just got $20 million from CeeDee Lamb. You got the same from Dak Prescott by converting, this is bad for Dallas Cowboy fans. Jerry Jones needs to trip and fall in front of a rail car. And it was an accident and stuff happens, right? Like, save McDonald's from having to make all those McGriddles.
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know what happened to Jerry.
I don't know quite. I don't quite know how to answer that. To be honest,
dude, I joke. I don't want anything bad to happen to Jerry, but until he's out of the picture, the Cowboys will not win. And he was running at the mouth the other day about how they've won the 6th most games in the last 15 years. Is that really what you're aspiring to? The 6th most wins, and none of them are Super Bowls, and rarely is it postseason? That's what you're aspiring to?
I also think, I agree with that completely. And I also think that on the, let's step off of Jerry for a minute and just the Dallas Cowboys. We also have Schottenheimer talking about his philosophy and the organization's philosophy around the draft. And so Schottenheimer is talking about this.
The head coach of the Dallas Cowboys.
Head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. And the age-old question that we've bore out a million freaking times every single year, are you position specific, biggest area of need, or are you best available? And this is what Shotty had to say about it.
Again, the starting point would be best player available. You're always looking for game changers when you're picking 12. Like, we don't want to ever pick 12th again. All right, let's be honest. We don't want to pick that high. But you're looking for guys that influence the game. How do you influence the game? You rush the quarterback and you get sacks, strip sacks, fumbles, whatever it is. You score touchdowns, okay? So those are usually, I look at it this way, you build it from the outside in. So you got corners, receivers, they get isolated one-on-one. Pass rushers, tackles, they get isolated one-on-one. And then obviously the quarterback position. But usually that's the way I've looked at it, is when you're building a roster, kind of think of it from building it from outside in, based on guys that get isolated a lot. Because when you're isolated and you can't help, it's a pretty daunting task sometimes.
So wait, I just thought you said, as the head coach of this football team, that in the draft, your philosophy is it starts with best available, but when you look at the draft, you're looking for guys who can wreck the game and can take advantage of individual matchups. Now, I know
essentially.
I know that they don't have a guy on their roster right now that they may or may not be, making the highest paid non-quarterback in the league who, wrecks the game, gets sacks, takes advantage of individual matchups, can line up on both sides of the line, can play outside linebacker. And yet here we are once again with the Dallas Cowboys. Your head coach is saying one thing, essentially describing Micah Parsons without even trying to, talking about the draft. And your owner is over here disrespecting to your point, one of the most powerful agents in the National Football League who represents that very same guy. This is classic Dallas Cowboys. This is Dallas Cowboys not being on the same page about their messaging. And it all comes down to Jerry Jones saying whatever the hell comes to his head in the press huddle. And until that's fixed or changes, they're not going to win. I don't care how much money you want to pay Micah. And I do think you should pay him. I would have paid him before I paid Lamb. But again, here we are. So I don't know when it changes for Dallas. I don't know, when do you I don't know. When do you start to get traction?
When Jared's not in the picture. That'd be my guess. And I'm assuming his sons will take over the team. But I look at their cap. You're already paying Dak 19% of your cap, and that's only $53 million. And you look at that's his cap hit. They converted a lot of his money into a signing bonus to create cap space. Micah's already making 24. You're probably doubling that number.
Yeah.
And then you're going to go and draft somebody. And yet you're still paying Terrence Steele and CeeDee Lamb and Trayvon Diggs. And I don't know what the Cowboys are in a world of hurt. And it's
selectively aggressive.
It's not going to get better.
No,
it is not going to get better. It truly is not. TJ Beck, Monty, look at the bright side. Mrs. Monty will come home with tan lines, and that's hot. She's already hot. She's even with all this snot running out of her face.
Ass.
I mean, you've never seen a hot chick with snot running out of her face.
Dude,
well,
snot rockets, bro.
I have. It just
Google me.
It's the life I live, man. Capazzo. Jerry's trying to leave the agent out of the picture to get Mike on the cheap, and that's not going to happen.
Yeah, probably, dude.
I would agree. Chewy Gonzalez, 6 most wins. Sounds like Mike Gundy with that type of mid-tier mentality.
I'm a man.
I mean,
I can't say you're wrong. That's actually a really good analogy, I have to say.
James has finally found his way back to the show. Do I make a run the stairs comment? You
must have done it 1,000 times, right?
That's why you had Ollie Gordon running stairs, James.
Makes me want to puke.
Thoughts and prayers. Johnny Gonzalez, the rest of the NFL is shopping at Costco. Dallas shops at Dollar Tree.
I guess.
I don't disagree. Big Daddy Magic, the Buffalo Bills have the 30th pick. I want them to take CM Punk. They do have the 30th pick, but it's fine. No shops at the Salvation Army. I'm not doing it today. I'm not doing the Walmart, Target. No. Chewy, no Greg Hill. They pick up clothes at the dumpsters. Okay,
Stop.
come on, man.
Stop.
They would expect Jerry. They would expect Jerry $1 off back of the Salvation. I'm lost.
Yeah, I get so burned on every time we hear from Jerry Jones. It's something else. It's terrible. It's brutal.
But what about this? Allegedly.
Mm-hmm.
Cleveland sports reporters are saying that the Browns are engaged with the Cowboys on a deal to trade for Dak Prescott.
Yeah.
That's not happening.
There's no way, dude.
Number 2, just out of curiosity.
Such as in
stuff. How much do you value Dak Prescott? Because as you know,
Stay hard.
I'm a huge Dak guy.
That's an issue.
I took an absolute swooping in the comment section today on the Lamar Jackson video and the Lamar comments from yesterday where I said Lamar's mom is a better passer. I actually didn't say that. I would take Dak Prescott over Lamar Jackson. If Dak was on the Ravens would have won a Super Bowl already. I believe that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it is wholly because Lamar Jackson turns into a different quarterback in the postseason.
I agree.
Does not want to play free and fast the way he does during the regular season. I think Dak Prescott is the MILF hunter. He is that guy who needs a change of scenery to see the top end of his career.
Mm-hmm. No, I completely agree with that. The problem is I don't think that's Cleveland. And I don't think I don't think that Dak, not that I guess it's up to him, but, if you're Cleveland, let's say that this was a thing in actuality, and I don't think it is, but let's say it was. I mean, if you're trying to put a trade together with Dak, you got to make sure that he'd be down to play for you, wouldn't you? I mean, wouldn't you have to, at least ask, like, hey, if we make a move, are you willing to, play for us? Like,
I think the Cleveland Browns were a playoff team last year if Dak was their quarterback. I think that highly of Kevin Stefanski.
Well, wasn't it the whole reason you did the Deshaun deal before that melted down? Because they thought he was, not to say that Dak and Deshaun are in the same conversation, but I'm just saying that the ownership group there thought that they were getting a diamond, in the rough with Deshaun, and that totally melted down. And I guess it wouldn't be uncharacteristic for them to try to go put some blockbuster together, but I just have a real hard time thinking that, you're gonna try to execute a deal, behind the scenes under the radar for a guy like Dak. You're essentially trying to pull the Luka deal with Dak, and Dak, you don't know if you don't know how that would pan. So I just thought, I always felt like that was a pretty outlandish rumor, if you will. I just don't see that is a thing.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it is. I think it's very interesting, the Lamar Jackson versus Dak Prescott debate.
Oh, it's a great debate. I mean, it couldn't be more different stylistically. Numbers are pretty similar, in terms of production and wins. But I think, if you're like, you reference the comment section on the Lamar video, Lamar is a guy that you're either pro Lamar or you hate Lamar, and not personally, just as a football player. Like, you either hate the style of play or you love the style of play. And I have to say, just like I said yesterday, I think in the regular season, the guy's one of the most entertaining quarterbacks that you could put on a football field. I think when the Ravens are on Monday Night Football or Sunday Night Football, it's a must-watch game. And there are a lot of times where they're not on national TV, and you can get them on the ticket, obviously, when they're playing a divisional game, and that's still super entertaining. I mean, I remember the Browns-Ravens game from this past year, and that was incredibly entertaining.
Yeah. So,
I think that the problem for Lamar is he has massive entertainment value. He's likable. Like, he's not often in trouble, but he just hasn't, as a quarterback, developed to a place where he can win in the postseason, because it's a different thing.
Let me read you some of the Lamar Jackson comments. He beat Buffalo last year. My God. How many Super Bowls does Allen and Burrow have? Burrow's got rings. And I would remind you, he's won at what he did at LSU. You don't want to get into the Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson conversation.
No, that's not a good one for you.
Do you really want to get into the Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson conversation?
Joe Burrow's been to the Super Bowl. He didn't win.
But he's won. He won in college.
Yeah.
And he won big in college, right? So we can sit here and we can play this little game about, hey,
we remember
who do you want, Joe Burrow? And I remember Joe from this past year, right? And again, Joe Burrow's been a better quarterback than Lamar Jackson their entire adult lives, right? Like, since they popped out of the womb, and Joe Burrow's the national championship game offensive MVP in 2019, won a Heisman Trophy, the Maxwell, right? Like, I understand that Lamar's got MVPs. Totally get that. I'm taking Joe Burrow every single day. Every single day. And I agree. If we're measuring them as NFL quarterbacks, neither one of them's won a Super Bowl. Joe's got hardware. And he's a championship player. And if you look at the numbers, come on, man. Come on. I think when you're talking about a guy in Joe Burrow that completes 69% of his passes, he's an elite thrower of the ball. Now, they've both had outstanding talent, right? At wide receiver and tight end, they both have elite talent. Joe Burrow's just made them better. Look at his two wide, Jamar and T, getting paid.
Yeah.
Do they get paid without Joe Burrow? No, they don't. No, they don't. Does Lamar Jackson make wide receivers better? Does he make his tight end with a bad throw that should have been caught? I'm not saying. You're the idiot that said Mark Andrews, bad throw. You know how much you probably don't read our comment section. You took some ass whooping about the Mark Andrews comment yesterday.
Well, I stand by it.
I
mean, do we need to since it's such a bad comment.
Bob Frederick, I have a serious question. Do y'all know football? Because the person who said they will come they will choose 10 QBs over Lamar is either not watching football or just hates Lamar. I got news for you. Joe Burrow, put him at the top of the list. I would take Joe Burrow every single day. Here are the guys that I would take over Lamar Jackson. And we can play the yes-no game. Oh, I'm happy to play the yes-no game. Joe Burrow.
Yes.
Jared Goff.
Yes.
Baker Mayfield.
No.
Geno Smith.
No.
Sam Darnold. Oh.
No.
Close, but a no.
You can't.
Patrick Mahomes.
Of course.
Aaron Rodgers.
No.
Justin Herbert.
Yes.
Brock Purdy.
Look
at you pause.
I mean, the hard part with Brock is I think that's a really tough one because of the Shanahan offense. I don't know that a lot of quarterbacks would do well in the Shanahan offense.
Okay, Herbert, I'm saying yes.
Yeah.
Purdy, I'm saying not yet. Josh Allen. Yes, that's 5 right there. Here's where it gets tough. CJ Stroud. Not yet. Jaden Daniels. Not yet.
Oh, I would.
You take Jaden Daniels over Lamar Jackson right now?
I would. Yep.
Okay.
I think Jaden Daniels is effective enough as a runner without taking too many hits because he's smart. And I think the league will catch up to him this year. No question about it. The league will adjust back. But I think that Jaden Daniels knows how to beat you over the top, and Lamar Jackson does not. And because of that, he's a problem for, anybody.
Dak Prescott.
See, again, this is what we're just talking about.
The answer is yes.
You have to.
The answer is yes. I think those are the guys I would take over Lamar every day. And if we just talk about the guys that had elite years last year, I think that's a really interesting question. I think that Lamar has certainly improved.
Of course.
But he's not, he is not. The Josh Allen Lamar is really interesting. I think it's very, very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And Dak over Lamar, I think I'm probably taking them both because they're just elite passers. And granted, none of them have won anything in big games. I don't even disagree with that.
Here's my problem, specifically to address the commenter who says, did I watch that play happen with Mark Andrews? Everyone, of course, unanimously agrees Mark should have caught the
ball.
There's no question about that. That's not the discussion I'm
Was
having.
it on him?
Yeah, it hit him in the hands. But here's my critique. It hit him in the hands, so technically, yes, it was on him. Here's my problem. You're asking a guy, and look really quick. What is he, 6'5", 240 or whatever, tight end? You're asking a guy that size to make a catch, a hands catch, not a chest catch, a hands catch, backpedaling, falling backwards into the end zone.
No, it was not on him. It could have been a better throw. Should have been caught. But here's the question I ask you. Is it on him if it's Dak? Is it on him if it's Josh? Is it on him if it's Herbert? Is it on him if it's...
Well, does he catch the football if a prolific throwing quarterback throws that ball to him?
If Aaron Rodgers threw that ball to him, does he catch it?
I am inclined to say yes.
Yes.
It's hard for me to say no. I feel strongly that, yes, if any of those dudes that we just mentioned, are throwing that football, because what you can't get away from, even if you're the most... just the biggest Lamar Jackson guy, his ball floats. That's his problem. His touch passes float and they wobble and they're hard to catch. So, yes, Mark should have caught the football. Yes, we all agree on that. No,
but see,
it was not a good ball.
Then you say stupid stuff like Jaden Daniels. So, of course, you're taking Caleb then.
Caleb Williams? Yeah, I think Caleb Williams is a better passer than Lamar Jackson is right now.
Caleb who? I'm going to choke you. Yes, he's the greatest quarterback that's ever been a Chicago Bear.
Yeah, I just said his name.
You put respect on his name.
Hey, look here, man.
I just want to point out, Caleb and Jaden Daniels, identical numbers. Jaden Daniels, best rookie anybody's ever seen ever in the history of football. Caleb Williams, complete bust. Wasikowskinator, good afternoon to you, sir. Monty is, here we go. Don't you love that about that? Here we go.
Yeah.
Omaha. Dak Prescott on the second floor.
Well,
Okay. I see where you're trying to go there. That's not hookah. My name is Hookah.
Yeah, hookah bong rips. Yeah, that guy.
Kyler Murray would be great in Cleveland. They need to trade for him. Sign Cardinal fans. Wow. Do Cardinal fans hate Kyler Murray? Well, nobody likes Kyler because he's such a weird dude.
Yeah.
But do you?
I don't hate him.
Do you root for him?
No.
I don't think he's the guy you root for.
Again, entertaining football player as a fan. He is fun to watch play the game.
But does he win?
No, he does not.
Is he a Super Bowl caliber quarterback?
No.
Wasikowskinator, Dak would definitely win a Super Bowl in Detroit, though. Oh, I think he would. Can you imagine? Well, Goff should have won a Super Bowl. You got to be healthy on defense.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to.
I think the Dak Prescott, Jared Goff conversation.
Goff.
Dude, that is about as close as it gets, in my opinion.
Yeah. Blue Turf, how many playoff games has Dak won? Why does it matter? We're talking about who's a better passer.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, I have to agree with that. Ultimately, does it matter how many playoff games you've won if you don't have hardware? I mean,
it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Like, yeah, sure, you're going to the playoffs, and I think we can all agree after our conversation about Jarrett today that the Baltimore Ravens are right now a better organization than the Dallas Cowboys, and that's why it's such a crying shame that the Ravens haven't won the AFC, right? It shouldn't have been the Chiefs. Like, let's be on the same page here, right? If you want to really get down to brass tacks, the Ravens were a disappointment this past season. You had Lamar Jackson, you had Derrick Henry, you had Mark Andrews, like, you had a great defense, and you didn't get it done. And again, I in fairness to Lamar, because this has to be said, they chose to go away from Derrick Henry, right? Lamar Jackson did not say, "Oh, I want to stop handing it off to one of the best backs in the league with one of the best offensive lines in the league." Lamar Jackson didn't say that. The OC and the game plan said that. So I listen. There are going to be guys who will swear up and down he's the best quarterback in the league. I will die on the hill that you've been dying on for however the hell long at this point. You have to stand in the pocket and deliver the football and make the throw and get the completion.
And I would point out that that Dak Prescott's playoff numbers are actually pretty good. And he's won 2 playoff games. 64.5% completions. He averages 392 yards, 14 touchdowns, 7 picks. And that's 2-1, which is better than Lamar Jackson. So I just think Dak's a better passer.
Mm-hmm.
That would be me. Johnny Gonzalez, is Kingsbury better than Monken? Could be a coordinator question. Cliff Kingsbury is. I think what Cliffy did in Washington this year was nothing short of incredible.
And I think Cliffy deserves credit for having the nuts to stay.
Yeah.
With the head coaching available.
Yeah, I agree. Maury Alvarez, if anyone wants to play for the Deuces, sorry, the Browns, you need to make sure you have plenty of washcloths. There you go.
Mm.
And the owner, again, if you missed the show yesterday, Jimmy Haslam, the owner of the Cleveland Browns, has essentially made it pretty clear. One, that this was a terrible move for us. Deshaun Watson pretty much called him a bust, and they've paid him his entire contract now. They can let him go anytime they want.
Yeah.
So, Damon Bolden, where do you put Bo Nix coming up?
Dude, great question. You want to talk about a guy who's undervalued, underrated. Now, the problem is he's playing for Denver, right?
He is in a scheme, yeah.
Yeah,
but,
so,
I'd like to see him.
I don't think that he is. I haven't looked at his numbers. I don't remember. He had a great year. I know that, obviously.
He did. His numbers are pretty 66%.
What did he have for yards?
37.75 for yards, 29-12. Sacked only 24 times.
Yeah. I mean,
but his QBR is 56.8. So that says a lot about the quality of his passes. And you look at somebody like a Lamar who's 41.72, and for a guy that threw the ball, 66. And this is the problem that you have with Lamar Jackson.
Well, listen, I think if we're talking about Bo Nix, let's compare him to his peers, right? Let's compare him to Jaden and Caleb. Those are that grouping is what he'd be compared to. And
he had better numbers than both of them.
Yeah.
He had 3,700. Shaden and Caleb had 3,500. He had 29 touchdowns. They had 20. Caleb had 20 and 6. Jaden Daniels had 25 and 9. And obviously the big difference is, Caleb Williams was sacked 40 more times than Bo's Dix, which is unbelievable. Bo Nix sacked 24 times.
Bro, you
24
said he was
times.
sacked 40 more times.
44 more times.
Bro.
Bo Nix sacked 24 times. Caleb was sacked 68 times.
Bro.
It's outrageous. It's outrageous.
So where do I come down on Bo Nix? I think that he's a great young quarterback, man.
He is.
You know what I really feel about him? I feel like Bo Nix is what everyone thought Zach Wilson was going to be. But again, this is what I say about Jaden, Caleb, Bo, all these guys. Year 2 is the proving ground. Yeah.
Not year 1. Year 2. You would expect, like my guy Caleb in Chicago, we'd expect a huge jump forward out of Caleb, right?
Well, and obviously with the changes in the coaching
Ben
staff.
Johnson, now another new offense, another new set of coaches, another new language. We got that deal done with Ben Johnson and his coordinators very early in the cycle, thankfully. And
which matters.
Before OTAs, before the draft, like ready to go. So he's got the playbook, he's got the language, he's got all of that.
Yeah.
The iPad is loaded with the new stuff. So that really should not be, and by all accounts, Caleb's a bookworm. I'd expect a big jump forward from Bo Nix because that offense is tough to master.
Yeah.
With Sean Payton.
But allegedly, Bo Nix did a really good job learning it. I mean, it took him a few weeks, but he did a good job.
Yeah. Boyd, don't beg. Don't beg on this show. That is far beneath you. Not quite beneath you as far as Kyler is.
Pick it up. Walk back. There. Walk. One more. Right there. Go. Up.
Again, ass to grass.
Dude.
Working out with the D lineman.
The technique is just
Look at the face now. Look at the face now. Get it. Get it, Kyler. Let's go. Get it, Kyler. Let's go. That ACL looks fine, right, guys? I mean, who doesn't?
Do you even lift?
Who doesn't love that? I feel like I got bit by something in my ear. Jeez. That was weird. Who doesn't love to lift with Kyler Murray?
Yeah.
Don't beg. Boy, it's beneath you. Let's see. Is Lamar getting into LeBron status here on the Marty Show? It pretty much is.
Well, how do you mean?
You hate LeBron, or excuse me, LeDad, LeCap,
LeCookie,
LeBrick.
Come on, LeCookie is awesome, dude. That is iconic, bro.
Awesome is not the word that I would use. And look at this ESPN update. Caleb Williams, the new play system, the new offense, has Caleb under center significantly more, which should help him in play action.
Now, I know that a certain individual, didn't spend all of this past football season talking about how mediocre-ass offenses have their quarterback in the gun constantly and don't have any motion, Shane.
Just saying.
What are we doing?
Just saying. You got to be able to play act in this league. Yes, on year 2, all NFL defenses have tape on you, and then we see what you've got. That's exactly right.
Yes.
Exactly right. Hey, Marty, Broncos should trade for Christian McCaffrey.
Nah, I don't think so, dude.
Why would you do that?
Yeah, no, I'm good.
I don't know about that. I don't think
let the 49ers keep paying, buddy.
I would agree with that. I don't think I would do that. I think Christian McCaffrey's a hell of an athlete who's just constantly hurt.
Yeah.
But now, what would this show be if Jake didn't get his nips in a pinch over Aaron Rodgers? Now, I've been telling you.
Yeah, I've been immunized.
For how many weeks on this show that I'm immunized, right?
Yeah, I've been immunized.
How many weeks have I been telling you on this show that Aaron Rodgers is going to the Steelers?
Where is Aaron right now?
In Pittsburgh, working out with DK. We didn't get that video.
No, I didn't.
Damn.
Yeah, sorry.
But I would just like to point out, I'm not the only one saying it anymore, that Aaron's a lock to go to Pittsburgh.
All right, here's my thought on the Rodgers situation with the Steelers. I think it's a done deal. I think he's 100% going to go play for them. This is the Steelers against the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's as well historically run and respected and in tune as there is in an organization in the NFL. And you mean to tell me that the Steelers are just rolling the dice at that position? That the Steelers are just going to see what happens? No way. They're in the same division as Lamar Jackson and Joe Burrow. But I just refuse to believe that the Steelers, a month from the draft, don't have a very clear plan and confirmation of who their quarterback is going to be and are just completely flying by the seat of their pants. So I think it's a done deal. I think he'll be a Steeler. I don't know exactly when it'll happen, before or after the draft, but I do think he's a Steeler.
Shut the fuck up, Donnie. Shut the fuck up, Donnie.
You think Dan Orlovsky listens to this show?
Shut the fuck up, Donnie.
Come on, bro. God.
I'm telling you, I'm good looking and I'm married to a hot wife.
What are we doing?
Unlike Aaron Rodgers, whose entire family hates him and every girl he leaves in the wake, right? But that doesn't mean he's not going to be a Pittsburgh Steeler.
Come on, man. What is we talking about?
What did I say yesterday? You can't tell me the Steelers don't know this is a done deal. What I say yesterday, his name, I would assume the pen's already hit the paper. When it's dated, doesn't even matter.
The ink isn't dry yet.
It would be a shocking turn of events. He got deep on DK Metcalf. They went deep together down that deep, dark hole.
I'd love it to be wider.
Aaron Rodgers is going to the Pittsburgh Steelers. I will just continue to say, if Aaron Rodgers signs, when Aaron Rodgers signs with the Pittsburgh Steelers, they are an automatic Super Bowl contender right now.
It is very powerful.
They've upgraded at every pretty much position on the outside. They're going to get a running back. They'll be in position to make moves in the draft. It all lines up.
Cashless.
I'm telling you right now. I am telling you right now. Aaron Rodgers is going to the Pittsburgh Steelers. You're going to hate it because he's going to win.
What's going to happen if they don't make the playoffs?
You'd have to ask me why. Did Aaron throw 30 interceptions and 5 touchdowns? Okay, Aaron's washed.
Okay, what happens if he gets hurt? Because that's what everyone says. I'm not saying that, but that's what everyone says.
He's a quarterback in the NFL. It's a very good possibility. It's a very good possibility. If it's a non-contact penis injury, okay, I'm going to say that was probably too much.
Maybe you should stop doing the ayahuasca, Aaron.
Yeah, if it was a non-contact ligament injury, heavens to Betsy, okay, you're done.
You know,
if he gets if Micah Parsons gets a free run off the edge and blows him up, although Micah was carrying the weight of Aaron Rodgers' family, who hates Aaron Rodgers, and brings down the force of the entire world as though he was Olivia Munn's broken heart. Sure, that's not Aaron's fault.
Come on, no Shailene reference here.
I mean, listen, if Micah Parsons gets divergent on Aaron Rodgers' soul,
I'm still human.
That's not Aaron's fault, right? I mean, if he brings that biologics and immunizes Aaron in the backfield, that's not Aaron's fault.
Biologics.
Might want to have an offensive line.
Biologics.
But they do have an offensive line.
Human or non-human?
Ain't no more divergent happening up in here, right? That Aaron Rodgers makes them a Super Bowl caliber football team. And in the AFC, that's saying something.
Don't lie to me.
I'm saying.
Yeah.
Johnny Gonzalez, I'm more about Woodley over Munn. Dude, if you don't like...
I agree.
Dude,
I agree.
Dude. What? Why
You're not seriously going to die on this hill, bro. Come on,
I swear to God.
dude. Really?
Listen, I'm supposed to be the old man on the porch. And I'm supposed to be
As you can see, there's
about,
not much hope for you left.
I'm supposed to be, springing a bulge over Betty White. But then you idiots say something like, oh, well, Shailene Woodley, my God, who's Olivia Munn? Monty, let me tell you something. I've never heard of Olivia Munn, but have you seen that divergent chick?
Just take it nice and easy, okay? Just relax.
And listen, I try to help you on this show.
No,
right?
you don't.
No, that's true. I actually
Let's
don't.
consult the douche meter.
Yeah, I never try to help you on this show. But if you are of the opinion that Olivia Munn is something below Shailene Woodley, there's nothing I can do for you. I should put it in the photos, not the video. If you don't understand the power of Olivia's cleavage,
I'm more of a Shailene guy, man.
You would be. That are you out of your mind?
Was this pre or post, Aaron?
Same. Well, she walks with a limp. What does that got to do with her looks?
Okay.
Doesn't make you feel responsible.
Olivia Munn is all that. And then you guys want to roll in here with
no, don't pick that one. Get the hell out. No, do not pick that one, dude. Come on.
Bro,
see, that's better. That's better.
Are you kidding me? This is a better picture.
Yeah. She looks great there, dude.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
I mean, this might be a generational difference.
A generational difference?
Yeah, this might be a generational difference.
Bro, somebody
That's pretty much self-explanatory.
Do you think when she stopped at an intersection where there's a train passing by, can she fully lean her nose out the car window without getting it ripped off? Like, are you out of your mind right now? You're taking that over this.
Yes. Yes, I am. Yes. Yes, I am.
You have to check it before you wreck it.
I am.
You're going to take that.
That downstairs kitty cat is not yours to have, okay?
Over that or that.
Yes. Yes.
Are you kidding? Now,
kitty cat juices is not all over the place.
What am I supposed to say to this?
Bro, so you're saying that she's not at all even.
No,
no. Okay,
listen,
fine.
Monty, you can't put that picture up, Monty.
You better Google
Monty,
search.
but Monty,
you
but
better
Monty.
Google search worst Olivia Munn photos.
Monty, listen,
dude, stop.
Listen,
bro. You are going out of your way here,
bro.
Stop.
I'm not going out of my way for anything.
This is the post Aaron Rodgers wake. That's what that is.
Listen to me. But even the photos of her in the Aaron Rodgers, in the era of Roger Gape, is not nearly as hot as Olivia Munn. You're out of your mind.
Right, but nobody's as hot as they were once they get in the relationship, right? Isn't that the narrative?
Yeah. Giselle?
Right? That's the narrative.
Giselle cheated on Tom and got pregnant because she rolls out of bed and she's like a 12.
Yeah, literally does some rolling.
This is what is this, a 4?
Stop.
Is that a 4?
No.
Is that a 4?
Dude, show a picture that's, she looks great there.
No,
You're crazy if you don't think that Shailene Woodley looks good.
I didn't say she doesn't look good. What I said was...
You don't always have to be negative.
What I said was she doesn't look like Olivia Munn.
People will read your positive shit.
Right? She doesn't look nearly as good as Olivia Munn.
Okay, let's consult the comment section.
Let's consult the douche meter.
Let's consult the comment section. Where do we come down on this?
I'm still trying to understand what is it, and I'm quite concerned. We may need to get an optometrist on the show. I'm quite concerned about it because there's not a photo that, and you're watching me clip these. There's not a photo of Olivia Munn that's like, God damn, who hit her with a 2x4?
Nobody's saying that.
Are you?
Nobody's saying that.
Yeah,
dude.
we're the 2x4 picture.
No,
you're serious right now. Have we seen a bad photo of Olivia Munn yet?
You're hating right now.
No,
you are hating.
I'm simply asking.
You are
I'm
hating,
being curious. Look at this photo of Olivia Munn. Look at this photo of Olivia Munn.
Yeah, she's way too Kim K for me.
Look at this photo of Olivia Munn.
Yeah,
look at this photo of Olivia Munn.
No.
Look at whatever this is supposed to be with
Dude, you're
Aaron
only
Rodgers.
showing the bad one.
Okay, what's the good one? What's the good one?
This is her best one right there.
Yeah, I know. Great. That's the problem.
Okay.
That's the problem.
I mean, there you go.
You're wilding on this. Field crew dirt Dr. Cheese. Well, now walked into a Monty hotness contest. You're right. Boyd Lake, Shailene is much less crazy than Munn.
I couldn't tell you. I have no idea.
Okay. Munn's default look is
RBF. I agree.
What's that mean?
Resting B face.
What? Okay,
Okay, first of all, it speaks to your credibility. You don't know what RBF is.
What is this?
I feel like that's a pretty casual term.
What is this?
That is Aaron Rodgers broke my heart and my life was ruined for 2 years.
So my soul is leaking out of my huge cheekbones, only outdone by my nose? Are you kidding me? She could snort a small city through that thing. Like,
dude.
What is, hello?
Yeah, she is way too Kim K for me, dude. I can't.
Now Kim K's a problem.
Oh, there's no question Kim K is a problem. No doubt.
Dude, I'm not looking at her face.
Yeah,
you're out of your mind. You're out of your mind.
What you want me to say to that?
Yeah, what do you want me to say to that? Right?
Come on.
Bro.
Come on.
Bro. What do you Olivia Munn over Woodley is a no-brainer. Yeah, but your track record on grading your women is not high. Let's,
The guy said your wife wasn't hot. Dude.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Fat Jesus, do you guys even look at women? Never. I'm married, so I wouldn't know what a woman looks like. Johnny Gonzalez, time to diverge and divulge my underlying love of Shailene.
Thank you.
Oh, Johnny Gonzalez. She looks a little wrecked, but she would do more in that condition.
Stop.
No.
Don't do that, dude. That's
Come
not
on.
cool, bro.
Jimmy Otson, Olivia Munn has no terrible pictures. I looked. I know. Shailene, listen, what makes Giselle so hot? Is
I
it
don't know that she rolled around on the pad with some Brazilian dude while she was married, allegedly?
No. It's that when she rolls out of bed looking her worst, she looks amazing.
Is it the vegan diet?
Is it the eggs that she puts in the places of the thing? Who's the lady that said
Paltrow.
Was it Gwyneth Paltrow who said put rocks in your thing? Yes. No, don't put rocks in your thing. But the point is, Giselle looks good in a gi, and I'm guessing out of it since she got pregnant with a jiu-jitsu guy. Yeah, he did jiu-jitsu.
Well, Monty, he's going to show her his black belt. What do you want me to say?
I'm here for it. Main event, Sydney Sweeney for the win.
Yeah, but
this
that's
is
like
Aaron Rodgers'
take,
girlfriend.
Dude. See, this is the problem.
Is Sydney Sweeney dating?
No, Sydney Sweeney just called off her marriage and now is single again. And every hyena is just throbbing to get one picture with her. And here's the deal, dude. Sydney Sweeney is everyone's cup of tea right now. Give her a lot of credit. Super talented, like awesome. No problems with Sydney Sweeney. Obviously looks great. But here's the deal. We're talking about Aaron Rodgers being an absolute person wrecker, and which of his people here, is the better option. Somehow we got on this topic. Oh, that's right. I know, because everyone knows that Aaron Rodgers is a cancer with all the people around him, and somehow the Steelers think they can fix Aaron Rodgers.
Bro, I don't even know how. No, I'm not doing his.
So I said,
Stop.
Now, while Aaron Rodgers' roster is incredible, Monty.
No, not the new one. He needs to make cuts on the roster quick.
We got to restructure the contract,
Monty. He took a step back. And again, you guys have terrible taste.
Now, don't tell me you don't like Sydney Sweeney.
I don't dislike Sydney Sweeney.
You're saying that she's mid. Is that what you're saying? Come on.
I mean,
okay, if Sydney Sweeney is mid, then I'll great.
I'm not saying that.
Well, sounds like a lot of Monties right now on Sydney Sweeney.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying that and this is what I'll ask. If you guys say that the RBF on Olivia Munn's overpowering the D.
And
okay,
it sucks.
If that's the case, what is this? Is this that I'm about to put up here, and it's going to traumatize you. It's going to traumatize you. If Olivia Munn's got this thing, and I'm stalling because if Olivia Munn's got an RBF, what is this?
Not RBF.
Are you out of your mind?
Dude, that is talent. She knows what she's doing.
So you would take this over that?
Yeah. Yeah, I would. Yep, I would. I'm sorry.
Over
I
that.
would. Yeah, I would.
You're out of your mind.
Yeah, I would.
You're out of your mind.
Well, that's the issue.
You're out of your. You're dead to me. You're like, what are you looking at?
Dude, I can't help it, dude. This is a generational difference.
Have you
bro.
been to the?
I think I've hit it every time.
It's not a generational difference. It's I like hot
you're
chicks.
Stupid 2 holes.
I like hot chicks. You don't.
Okay,
That's
well,
what this is.
Whatever you say.
Selectively aggressive.
What? How? On what
Comment
planet testosterone?
Comment
do
section.
you have trouble with this?
Bro, it's not that I have trouble with it. I just think there's better options.
Yeah, who doesn't want this over that?
You're hating.
You're out of
you
your
are
mind.
hating, dude.
You're out of.
No class.
I am really. You need to go and get a low T test because
Dude,
I have no idea what this is.
Olivia Munn, I'm sorry, is not in the same category as Sydney Sweeney. I'm sorry. I'm not doing it.
Well, maybe I need to find a better picture of the sween dog, peen dog. I don't know. She just never okay. And now we've got a lazy eye picture.
Stop it.
Now we've got eye problems.
No, we don't.
Okay.
No.
I'm not okay. Again, we're talking about Hollywood starlets. Are any of them out? No. Listen, if they knocked on the door, I would tell my wife it's an Amazon delivery.
I am much more team Sydney Sweeney than Olivia Munn.
What? Okay.
And maybe it's just a stylistic difference. That's fine. That's fine. You know,
I am amazed by that. This is weird to me. Her eyes are not even. Look, okay. I mean,
Okay.
Yo, how much Botox can one forehead have?
Bro, her forehead does not have Botox. Come on.
Okay, I'm even going to say that the starlet, the beauty queen, the winner of this show, you don't have that clean before without some botulism. I don't know. You guys, I've lost hope in this
What
show.
are the people saying?
We need a hot celebrity tournament bracket. Maybe we do.
Yeah.
Maybe we do. Damon Bolden, the hot ones are always nuts. Yeah. Yeah. My wife is absolutely crazy. She is.
I want the best people.
She's not crazy at all. Yeah, I would agree. I picked them all. Shouty says, LOL. The stadium guy, James Fat Jesus, has a great idea. Attractive celebrity bracket. Okay. Yeah. Monty got a case of the mundane. I do. And then NE says stupid things like,
thank you,
Sweeney Woodley Munn.
Thank you.
You can't.
No redos.
You can't be helped. How?
I don't even think Sydney Sweeney being one is controversial. I think the controversy is Munn and Woodley.
This is number one, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
This is number two.
And I can find better pictures of Sydney Sweeney.
This is number two. Well, I pick one. I'm sitting here. I've got them all up here. Her and Brad Pitt. No, she's got the lazy eye thing.
That's the one that a lot of people lean on that one. Yeah.
Well, the sisters are looking galactic in this picture.
Yeah, I don't remember which event that's from, but
who cares? I don't care.
That was one that was really popular.
I would just request that she use that photo more. We're big fans of that photo. Not the one on your screen, because if you're taking that over Olivia Munn, you're beyond help.
Okay,
is all I'm saying. But come on, you can. I'm Sydney. This is the Sydney Sweeney one, and let me get
this is the one that everyone leans on, and you
should probably get Aaron Rodgers off the screen.
And admittedly, the dress is amazing on her,
but she doesn't look happy. And what's the story with her right eye?
What do you mean?
Okay,
bro, her right eye is fine.
Yeah, listen, she's a beautiful woman, but if we're comparing, by the way,
talented for days in terms of acting.
I can't say I know her work.
Well,
I know of her, but I can't say that I know her. Should I know her work?
No, she's probably not your style. Probably not. No.
So what is it that I should? What is it I should know?
Well, I'm just saying that she's had a great career. I can't remember the movie. There was a movie she did with. I'm terrible with names.
Aaron Rodgers?
No. The blonde guy that's everywhere right now who's in Top Gun and
Miles Teller?
No. Miles Teller's brunette. No.
Okay.
Anyway, we should probably move on. But yeah.
All I'm saying is she's been in Euphoria on HBO. Which is I haven't seen Euphoria. Lore Olympus, The White Lotus. That's cool. I just don't see that she's Echo Valley, The Rap, Immaculate, Saturday Night Live multiple times, Spider-Man, okay, superhero film, Madam Web, Spider-Man universe franchise. So she's a comic book actress, which is why I don't know her, because I'm not a comic book guy. I only found out today.
Glenn Powell.
Okay.
Is the guy.
I have no idea who that is. But
yeah, you do. You know Glenn Powell.
Do I? Oh yeah, I know.
You know Glenn Powell. Yeah, everyone knows Glenn Powell.
My wife chastised me today because I just found out today from my wife that anime is not porn. That there's actual cartoons. You had me sold that the only anime was porn.
No, that's not true, bro. That's not what I said.
Yes, it is.
I didn't say the only anime is
the only anime you watch.
No,
okay,
I'm not an anime guy. Never been my deal.
Got it.
Never been my deal.
I'll just put this up here one last time.
I know we're gonna do the rest of the show with that picture on the screen.
We should.
We roll out a hot cookie take with that picture on the screen.
Amy Adams, I finally agree with the stadium guy.
Okay,
Amy Adams is
disagree.
amazing.
Amy Adams is amazing.
Glenn Powell, yes. Mr. Preston, hello. My celebrity crush is Amy Adams. I don't hate it. It's fine. Yeah. Sydney Sweeney's all about the boulders. That's a polite way of saying that. So anyway, all right, let's reset because we have one more NFL topic to get to. Coming up in about 10 minutes, Coach Prime. Does he deserve to be paid amongst the highest coaches in college football? Should, and I say should, we ban the tush push in the NFL? Get in the comment section. Should it be banned? We'll talk about that after this from the advocates.
You're not just a case. You're not just a client. You're a person, and you deserve support. You deserve simplicity. You deserve communication. When you hire an attorney, you deserve clear, risk-free advice that guides you to the best possible outcome in your injury case. And that's exactly what the advocates have been providing for over 30 years. After your accident, you deserve closure. You deserve compassion. You deserve peace of mind. You deserve an advocate.
Right? We're like sitting here arguing over this. Jake says, I don't like Olivia Munn because she looks like Kim K.
Yeah.
Now, I understand that Kim K had the Ray J section of her life. But are we all of a sudden, are we really all of a sudden convinced that now Kim Kardashian's gross and unattractive?
No, I don't think she's unattractive.
I mean,
on
she's
the
no
outside,
Shailene Woodley.
But I'm not just going to skip over what's happened in her life, dude. I can't do that.
I mean, I'm not doing that. And you put her next to Sydney Sweeney and she looks like a male, role model. I mean, Danica.
With all due respect.
Danica or Kim K. Well, we're taking Danica. You're out of your mind.
No.
There was a point, and you guys correct me in the comment section. There was a point in time where Kim Kardashian, for like a decade, was the hottest woman on earth.
Mm-hmm.
And then and she doesn't pick great men. Kanye, who now, did you guys see Kanye walking around in a Klan outfit, but it's black?
Yeah.
Showed up for a major television interview wearing a Klan outfit.
He's sick, dude.
But she laid down with the dog and got fleas because she also laid down with Pete Davidson pre-tattoo removal, which you figure it out. And then again, she went through the Ray J.
Before OnlyFans was a thing.
You know. Is she only famous because of the Ray J tape?
I mean, that's where she got her start, I think. Yeah, that's where.
She got her start
infamy.
when OJ went to Nicole's house. That's where Kim K got her start. If we're being honest, right? Because her dad, the lawyer, and he took the suitcase and walked off, and the rest is history.
Such as in
and stuff.
Right.
That's where Kim K starts. but you weren't even boiling at that point.
Mm-hmm.
My point is, you really think Kanye ruined Kim's rep? I would agree with that. Let's see. Kardashian was never the hottest woman on earth.
I don't know, dude. She went on a run, bro.
She is certainly a sex symbol, right? Lopes Van Gabe, you're worth what someone's willing to pay you. Get that bag, Coach Prime. Let's talk about it. Deion Sanders now amongst the highest paid coaches in all of college football on a 5-year, $54 million deal. And people have absolutely lost their minds over it. And I say, hey, you want to be paid on this level? I'm all for it. Because if Rick George and the bros up in Boulder want to give me that money, I'll say yes right now.
Oh, any clown saying that, Deion should be blamed for taking this money, you're out of your mind. I'm never going to blame Deion for taking money and getting paid. My problem comes in with Rick George and the boys in Boulder wanting to pay this dude on par with these guys.
Should he be paid more than Sark?
No.
You don't think so?
Nope. Sark's had a bigger program. Sark's had more success. Sark's been doing it longer.
Has he had more success?
Yes, he's been in the college football playoff. Deion is not. It's not in dispute, in my opinion.
But Deion won a championship at his first stop.
Yeah, but
now he's at Colorado, and he's unquestionably grown and rebuilt that program.
Okay,
He's going to have 2 guys probably in the top 5 of the draft.
How much does a championship matter at his first stop?
A lot.
Why do you think it matters a lot?
Because it's really hard to win championships. Well, I mean, really difficult.
Yes. Yeah.
Right. So I think it matters. Okay, throw it out. Look what he's done in Colorado.
Right. And I agree. He's done great things at Colorado. I disagree that he should be paid on par with the most successful head coaches in college football.
Okay, so Dabo Swinney or Deion Sanders?
Right now, today, I would probably want to have Deion.
Well, the good news is that's when Deion got paid in this last week.
What is Dabo making right there? I can't.
11.1.
I mean, I have a lot of trouble with Dabo making that kind of money. But the problem is Dabo can say, I won the national championship.
Yeah, he's got a belt.
I mean, he can say that.
Got a strap.
Yeah.
Ryan Day or Deion Sanders?
See, this isn't even a conversation. Ooh. This is see, when you get to Ryan Day and Kirby, this is where it starts to get a little disrespectful. Ryan Day and Kirby Smart are 2 of the most successful head coaches in college football, if not the most.
Ryan Day or Deion Sanders?
Ryan Day.
Oh,
I'm taking Ryan Day. Dude, we're not doing this. We're not just going to say, oh, well, Deion's done a great job at Colorado. A team that was in the dump.
Right, but understand it's not just wins and losses anymore. Now, Ryan Day's got a championship. I agree. I think it's close.
Okay, why do you think it's close?
Because Deion has the coaching staff, the relationships, the recruiting, the NIL, the branding. You hire Deion Sanders, and you instantly become the most visible program in the country. Colorado went from invisible.
Okay, I agree with this.
To can't get him off my TV.
I don't think we can definitively say that Colorado's got more visibility than Ohio State. I think that's close. Ooh. I think that depends who you ask. I think that
I don't know about that.
So it depends. And again, I'm trying to be really clear on this. It depends what conversation you want to have. You want to have, hey, who's the best X's and O's college football coach? I'm inclined to say it might be Deion because he's done more with less. But I'm also going to sit on the other side of it and say, bro, I'm not going to sit here and disrespect the guy that just won a national championship. And we're sitting here trying to justify Deion's salary by saying he does a great job in NIL when Ryan Day dominated NIL and won a championship because of what he did in the portal and NIL.
I just think that's a lot of bread. And I agree. I think Ryan Day is one of the elite coaches in college football.
Let me ask you this.
So is Deion Sanders.
Let me ask you this, because I think this is another interesting, just another interesting side of the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
If Deion's going to get paid, what is it? 10.6? Was it? Is
10.8?
10.8. If Deion's getting 10.8, why is Kenny Dillingham not getting being paid on that on par, like 8 to 10?
I don't think Kenny Dillingham's done half of what Deion did. I think that Kenny Dillingham, in my opinion, has done a great job at ASU. I think Kenny Dillingham, he won the Big 12. He went to the college football playoff. Totally get it. I'm taking Deion Sanders every single day. He's got a better coaching staff. I think he's got more talent. He's developed his talent better. I'm taking Deion every single day.
But what does it say that Kenny beat him when Deion had Travis Hunter and Shedeur Sanders?
I think that Arizona State definitely had a better year. But again, we're talking about where did these two programs come from? Because you would have to agree that when you look at where Arizona State has come from, it's nothing short of spectacular what Kenny Dillingham was able to do, right? Yeah. And I look at the wins that Colorado had last year, and they played a stacked schedule.
Right.
There's no question about that.
And we talked about that a ton. There's no question about it.
And they lost the one game they could not lose to Kansas, right? I look at Arizona State, and I in no way mean to disrespect Arizona State. It says something that what Kenny Dillingham had to rebuild at ASU, I think Deion had to do twice the work.
Why do you say? Because
they had nothing. They had no money. They had nothing there. They had no facilities. They didn't have a locker room. They didn't have a brand. They didn't have talent. They weren't recruiting.
Mm-hmm.
They had nothing. Nada. It's not an athletic machine, a hotbed like the state of Arizona is. It's not Southern California close. And again, I am taking nothing away from what Kenny Dillingham did. My opinion is the hole that Deion had to dig out of in Boulder is significantly deeper, even with all the sanctions and the issues that they had with Herman and Pierce at ASU.
And all the stuff that Michael Crow did in the Pac-12 meltdown.
Fine.
Yeah.
Deion still nobody went to Arizona or to Colorado's football games.
Yeah.
Nobody cared.
So when you look at paying a coach, what you're basically saying is that it's not really just the win-loss record per se. It's more like, hey, where's the program headed? How much momentum do we have? What's the staff look like? The players you're getting.
Yeah.
That's why you would rather have Deion.
The staff that Deion Sanders has put together,
mm-hmm.
the level of talent that he brought there and then developed, because it would have been easy for Travis not to develop.
Right.
Would have been easy for Shedeur to be a bust under that spotlight. The defensive line makeover, the wide receivers outside of Travis Hunter.
And admittedly, there was a clear and tangible step forward in year 2.
I'm not saying that Kenny Dillingham has done anything that isn't spectacular. Deion Sanders, in my opinion, is more valuable and deserves to be paid the money that he is being paid because Colorado offered it to him. Should Kenny Dillingham be paid on par with Deion Sanders? If Arizona State's willing to offer him that, sure.
Okay, when does the expectation of Deion Sanders being in the CFP start to come up?
Right now.
Okay, so this year,
yes,
that should be the expectation.
Yeah, you can't. I don't care if Travis and Shedeur graduated. You got to have more talent. Mm. That's the job.
Well, and by all accounts, they do. What I'm saying is that this conversation has come up today because he's now paid on par with Sark, Ryan Day, Dabo, Kirby, and I think a lot of people take issue with this, and I would say maybe there's like 20% of me, a small portion of me that takes a bit of an issue with it, but a lot of people are pissed off about this because he hasn't gone to the CFP, he hasn't even won his conference, and he's already being paid on this level. Now, I also think the point has to be brought up that did you think that guys like Deion, who maybe haven't won at the highest level quite yet, admittedly he's still young in the process, but did you think that those salaries weren't going to go up as renewals start to happen? This is the quarterback conversation in the NFL, right? I mean, if Kirby's making this and Dabo's making that, then what's Deion making? So I do think that's part of it, but I would agree on some level there has to be, if you're going to make this kind of money, bro, I don't want any type of excuses this season about, not that Deion is making excuses about, Shedeur and Travis and all those guys leaving, they're going to the NFL, but you don't get to have it both ways. And I think that's where that's where the haters kind of get right in the middle of that and say, well, hey, it's cool that you were getting paid. You were on a nice deal when you got to Colorado and you've done some nice things. It was fine not to win the conference and fine not to go to the CFP because you were on a small deal. But now that you're getting paid on top, in the top ranks of college coaching, now there's pressure.
But the difference is Deion was never on a small deal. Deion, the money that he makes from Colorado now is on par with what he makes for Colorado. And I think his brand has to be worth something to you.
And I would agree with that.
And
he has a massive brand.
Dude, he just got Marshall Faulk to come in there and be a coach and an administrator in that program.
Yeah.
He's got multiple Hall of Famers on his coaching staff. They're putting out NFL players at multiple positions.
Yeah. And again, it has to be said, by all accounts, they have restocked. They have done a great job in the offseason. You've got your next quarterback. You've got a lot of talent. Like, there's no question.
You better get to the playoff this year or next year. I agree with that.
So I'm not the guy that's sitting here doubting Prime. That's not what I'm doing. What I'm saying is that as usual with any of these conversations, you don't get to have it both ways. And what I don't want to happen is I don't want to be in a spot after this coming football season where it's like, hey, man, yeah, you won 9 games, didn't win your conference, didn't go to CFP, right? And we're still paying you like that because we know that's going to come up eventually.
Oh, he's going to get criticized even because there is a large swath of college football who hates Deion Sanders.
Right. Yeah.
Just
on premise alone.
On premise alone.
Right.
And I love it because he does not care. I'm a big believer that you cannot care what other people think of you. You do you to the best of your ability, and 9 days out of 10, you're going to be good.
What's their schedule this year? Let's really quick before we get done with this. What's their schedule this year?
If you look at Colorado this coming season, their schedule is, and the dates are not out, but at K-State, Arizona State, at West Virginia, Arizona, at Utah, Iowa State, at TCU, BYU, Wyoming, at Houston, Delaware, and Georgia Tech.
So start with 2 softies and then get into it.
That's what you would.
Which is fine. I'm good with that.
We'll see what time those games are.
But you look at the biggest games on your schedule there.
They're all on the road.
Yeah, they're all on the road. You've got
BYU at home. But at TCU, that they're going to be better. Utah's going to be significantly better. West Virginia, I think, is going to be significantly better. And I have no idea what to make of K-State.
Big question mark at ASU too, though. I think we got to see if we're going to sit here and doubt. If you guys are going to sit here, or haters are going to sit here and doubt Prime, we got to make the same point about Kenny, right? I love the Scatterboo story and the story of ASU this past season. Love the energy out of Dillingham. Love the energy out of that program. But ultimately, you have to do it year in and year out. Though that's what elite programs do. And if we sit here and bigger conversation for another day, what does the Big 12 need to thrive? They need ASU, TCU, Colorado, K-State, Utah, and BYU to deliver.
Yes,
and if
they
you
do.
can have Iowa State, and if you can have the Baylors of the world, and obviously Texas Tech overachieve, and one of those 3 have a 9-10 win year, you're in a great place.
Win. The only thing that matters this year for Colorado is they need to win the Big 12.
100%.
Yeah. And that's going to be tough with what Joey McGuire's done, who's another guy that people say is underpaid. Well, I got news for you. He hasn't won a thing.
See, now this is a good comparison. Joey McGuire does not deserve a new contract yet.
No.
Joey McGuire has to show that he can go out in the Big 12 and win 10 games. That's what you have to show that, dude. You have to show that in the last 2 to 3 weeks of the season, like Colorado this past year, you were in the conversation to go to Arlington and play for a Big 12 championship and play for a spot in the CFP.
Yep.
You are not that guy yet.
Boyd Lake, Colorado needs to win at least a conference championship. I think that's exactly right. The natural OSU had 4 out of the top 10 watch games. Colorado had 0 most watch. Well, listen, I don't think there's any doubt that when Colorado's on TV, people watch.
Yeah.
And I think comparing the brands of Ohio State to Colorado is not a comparison at all. I think Ohio State is the biggest brand in college football. I think, and that's why I say, like, I don't, if Ryan Day had not won this championship, this would be a different discussion.
Totally agree.
But he did. And he deserves the money he's getting. And I think this is the season where Ryan Day's got to show us who he really is.
And I think at the same time, we can also say that Deion Sanders in Colorado is must-watch game every single week.
Yeah.
I mean, they are. They're not on Ohio State's level. Very few are. But Deion Sanders in that program is must-watch TV every week, man. There's no question.
Yeah, it's amazing what he's built. Maury Alvarez, we don't know what Kalani is getting paid, but he needs a bump after seeing this. Kalani had a great year. Now he's got to go do it again because that team's got more talent and more experience now.
And more expectations.
Yep. Fat Jesus. Kenny went to the playoffs, but he had 2 feet. That's true. Kenny had all his toes. I mean, I can get you a toe. Regular season only as well. What do you mean? Regular season only as well. Viewership. Yeah, I think trying to compare Ohio State's brand to anybody is Ohio State's got almost inarguably the biggest brand in college football.
Yeah.
I mean, absolutely. Johnny Gonzalez, Colorado transformation is nothing short of a miracle, I would agree. Maury Alvarez, CU's cupboard wasn't bare. That sucker didn't even exist. He had to build it, then stock it.
And he deserves credit for that,
Yes.
100%, dude. And again, I want to be really clear. I'm not saying, I have never once said today that Deion Sanders is doing a bad job.
You said he's a terrible coach who's robbing Colorado.
I've never said any of that. Like, dude is doing amazing work, man.
I will continue to sit on this show and tell you Deion Sanders is worth twice what he's getting paid. It doesn't matter. You watch him, you buy him sunglasses, shoes, diamond turfs, blenders, hats, buffaloes.
Yeah.
You build a staff that develops an incredibly talented roster. He deserves all of the credit for that because when it goes bad, who gets all the heat? He does. Mm-hmm. And when you come in and you say it's Louis and it turns out it actually is, he deserves all the credit for that. Deion Sanders deserves every penny he's getting. And without Deion Sanders, Colorado is not even a conversation today. He's made it that takes nothing away again from like Kenny Dillingham or Kalani or nothing. Deion Sanders has earned it. Joey McGuire is the best value at 4 points. He's not. He hasn't won anything.
Yeah, what does he want?
All Joey McGuire's done at Texas Tech is disappoint.
Yeah, I mean, if we're going to sit here and hate on Prime, Joey McGuire's overpaid at this point.
Joey McGuire has done nothing but disappoint.
Yeah.
And I think you better get on board in Lubbock because if you do not win this conference this year, he has to be replaced. There's no conversation to be had.
Well, and you know how this goes, right? I mean, obviously coming into this year, there's way more expectations now. Firstly, because you've just been bad, but secondly, because he's had the offseason he's had. I mean, there's no question about it. And we could probably do 2 hours on what they've done in the portal and the money they've spent and everything, all of that. But the reality is with that success in the offseason comes expectations. So you have, hey, it's my third year, we got to be better. But now it's like, hey, on the heels of that, hey, we know we got to be better. We were better in the offseason. Now it's got to translate. And I'm just telling you guys, it's not just a gimme. It's not a rubber stamp. And we've seen it so many times of like, hey, got a bunch of talent in the portal. That means we're going to win 10 games and win the conference. No, that's not how it works. You can have a bunch of talent, but if you don't have a staff and you don't have that translation, it doesn't matter. So Big Lubbock, like, I understand you're a homer, you're a Tech guy. I get it. He is overpaid right now based on what he's delivered.
He has to win.
Yeah.
Period. Look what Prime has done for the university. Student enrollment, publicity, exposure, revenue for the city. Oh, there's no doubt.
Listen, I understand why they paid him $10 million. From Colorado's side, dude, I get it. I disagree that he should be paid with the likes of Kirby Smart and Ryan Day when you talk about on-field success. I disagree.
I would agree. Or Sark.
Or Sark, yeah. Sark as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Coach Prime made Colorado relevant. Again, I have no problem with the salary increase. They have to be willing to pay up to keep Deion from leaving and going to Florida State.
Well,
maybe, although he's made it very clear he's not looking to go anywhere. So, Roche, I agree. Deion should be contending for a championship and going to the college football playoff. The rest are U of U, BYU, ASU, K-State, Texas Tech.
Mm-hmm.
Texas Tech had better win. This conference desperately
needs a big year in football.
this conference, the state of Texas is the Big 12. And if Joey can pull off a 10-win season and compete for a conference championship, I mean, that would be
sensational.
What that would mean for the city of Lubbock, Texas Tech's fan base, with the amount of talent he's got on that roster on paper, there's nothing to talk about. RF, why are we on so late? This is our regular time now. We're afternoon now, you know. Join us every day. Damon Bolden. From 1 to 9 in 2 years, a sideline full of celebrities every week. Kids want to be there, and that generates money.
I agree
totally
completely,
agree.
dude.
100%. 100%. A couple more on this. Damon says, I live in Vegas, but born and raised in Denver as a native. If Deion leaves, devastating. They had to pay him. Totally agree. Totally agree. Texas brand big boys. Well, yeah. And and if you've listened to the show for any amount of time, when all you jackwagons were running Texas and Oklahoma out of the conference, I told you this conference is going to suffer without them. And when, you know, Mr. Funny Guy in Stillwater was like, nobody wants to play Oklahoma. Yeah, it turns out that's not.
And
the
now
case.
wants to play a home and home for
Right?
NIL spring games.
And now that Oklahoma State's in a real rut, and Baylor is in a rut, and TCU's not winning, and how huge would Texas Tech be?
Yeah. Close.
How big is it that Houston's on the rise, that BYU continues, that Arizona State's back? Like, if any of these schools, let alone 2 or 3 of them in Texas, if TCU, Texas Tech, and Baylor can all, oh my God, what it would do for this conference, man. Field Crew Dirt Dr. Cheese, what's Joel Klatt's donation to Colorado look like?
No idea.
Man, he was a Deion hater. Maury Alvarez, Tech wins the Big 12 offseason, but that doesn't mean a thing. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. I totally agree with that. If the ACC runs through Tobacco Road, and it does, the Big 12 runs through I-35, dude. I'll just keep it.
Yeah.
Oklahoma State should be the blue blood in this conference now, but they're not. And I think the most critical performances this year in Big 12 football, Texas Tech has to be number 1, but Colorado's got to be 1A or 1B.
Utah.
And then Utah's got to be number 3, because Utah, Dampier looks fantastic. Witt looks re-energized. Like, if you're not excited about what you're seeing at Utah, but boy, it would sure be nice if 8-Ball Aranda would turn it around at Baylor. And like, you got to beat some real good teams this year. Shouting, Big 12 ain't same without Texas and OU. No, it's not. That's exactly right. Nightmare Prime has turned around the whole football team. That whole football team around between the wins, the staff he's putting together, and the transfer recruits, along with one of the biggest thing, which is culture. At top to bottom, the guy is absolutely remade Colorado football. Remade it. And that's why, again, I go to like the brand thing. What is ASU doing? This sucks. I don't know what you were thinking. This is so unnecessary.
Yeah, they're going full. They're going in on it, man.
Am I making too much of this? I hate this so much.
I mean, I don't know that you're making too much of it. I think that this is like the cool kids club thing to do. This is like, oh, well, we're maroon and gold. Like, let's make our football field maroon. You know, like it's just, you know, it doesn't surprise me one bit, honestly. ASU is young right now in terms of, you know, leadership and, you know, Kenny, you know, and everything. So I'm sure Kenny was all about this.
Yeah, I think that that's exactly what this is. This is brash.
Yeah.
This is amazing.
This is celebrate our brand.
I hate it. I hate it. I absolutely hate it. And I hope I'm wrong. And when it's packed and jacked in there, I hope it looks great. I don't know that it ever will be. I really don't know. Yeah, and it feels like ASU is trying to be Boise State. And I absolutely hate that. Big Lubbock. Maroon is so gross, and so is burnt orange. Okay. You guys must hate I would assume you guys absolutely must hate that Texas is this elite. They left for the SEC and everybody said, they're going to go there to die. And it turns out that didn't happen.
Yeah.
And they got Arch now to be their starting quarterback. Like, it is absolutely going to be miserable. All right. Well, last college football story. Coastal Carolina is giving away free concessions for every home game when you buy a ticket. Would this make you go to more games? If your favorite team, who's my, like, I live in Salt Lake City. If the Utah Jazz were giving away, no, I would not go to more games.
Free J-Dogs, dude.
I would not go to more games. If Utah or BYU were giving away free concessions, sure I would. If Notre Dame, sure I would. Absolutely I would. If the Cubs were giving, sure I would. The Bears, absolutely. I think this is a no-brainer because you're going to sell more tickets. And now, if you're Tennessee, what are the biggest stadiums in college football? Neyland in Tennessee, Alabama, like the biggest Michigan, Ohio State, like the biggest stadiums in college football. You probably can't afford to give up the revenue your concessions make you.
I mean, it's a lot of money, dude.
You can't afford to.
But I definitely think it stokes the fire of attendance. No question about it. I think, if a college kid, or really anybody can save a buck, they're going to save a buck.
Lopes fan Gabe, comment dump. Field crew. Tech's going to benefit from Auburn, Alabama, LSU, Florida a bit on the decline from where they once were. Maybe. I think Florida is going to be not good this year, and they should have whacked him. Auburn, Alabama, and LSU are going to be better. I can't believe Brian Kelly has another terrible season.
Yeah.
Can't believe it. Stadium guy James, free nachos, free brisket sandos, free pizza, sign me up. But you're the guy they're pandering to. And you're exactly right. Lopes and Gabe, plus free concessions, minus you have to watch Coastal Carolina football.
I mean, it's a fair point. A fair point.
That's why I say if you're a USC fan, yes, this would bring you to more games. This is aimed at the universities.
What about UCLA?
What about UNLV?
What about UNLV? Yeah. But see, UNLV can't do that because they're renting space.
I think it's a really interesting. But if you sell, will this double your ticket sales? Probably not double. But
time and a half, though, I would guess, for some brands.
If you're 50% increasing your ticket sales, it's probably worth it.
Yeah.
It's probably worth it. I would think. Of course you have. I've seen Coastal Carolina Stadium. It's pretty good for a G5. There you go. Jay McClanahan, back in the 80s, if you bought a Whopper from... No, go ahead. We'll wait. Go ahead. Bros, I got to tell you, I'll save it for a second. Counting calories, man, what I wouldn't give for a burger. If there's not a roller section in that free concession, it's not worth it. If I'm a student on Saturday night not doing anything, I'm going. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Let's see. Back in the 80s, if you bought a Whopper from Miami, they would give you a ticket. Okay. I'm down for that.
Yeah.
Now you want me to buy some food? I'll buy a ticket to buy some food. Right. All right. Couple things real quick, Jake. Should the Lakers try to get the number 2 seed in the West?
I mean, I think the hard part for the Lakers right now is they're just so inconsistent. I mean, one night they're everyone's all American, everyone loves them, they're playing great ball, everything's great. And then the next night they're really struggling, and we have drama, and they're giving up half court shots to all first team, all 15 under and everything. So it's like, should they go after it? I mean, if you right now in the 4 seed, I believe it's the Grizzlies that they would be projected to match up with. I don't hate that matchup for them. I think that there's all this drama with the Grizzlies, so I don't hate that matchup. But I really look at the West, and you're 3 games back, 3.5 games back technically of Houston in the 2 spot, and you don't have a ton of games left here. But again, if you're the 2 seed, now we're looking at playing the Clippers, and can't say that I am real excited about a matchup with the Clippers with how well they're playing, albeit, in, 8th or whatever. Yeah, 8th. So I don't think they should. I would stay at 4. I would look for a matchup with, the Grizzlies or the Warriors, depending on how that shakes out. And then from there, for me, I think that gives you the best opportunity to make a playoff run and make this Luka trade worth it.
I think you'd much rather be in the 4 than the 2.
Yeah, I mean,
that's my opinion, and I have no problem with them doing it.
I don't want anything to do with the Clippers or the T-Wolves. I don't want anything to do with that, man.
I would agree with that, but also real quick before we get to the video of the day, the Utah Jazz are going to lose 60 games. Is that even on your radar? Do you give up rat's ass that they're going to lose 60 games?
Yeah, well, they actually have eclipsed it already. So they're 16-60 right now.
Right.
For the first time in franchise history, they've lost 60 games. No, I don't care about it. But, the reason I wanted to talk about this today is it begs the question. As a Jazz fan, and I know there are many of you that listen to this show, are you happy? Is this a successful season? Is this everything you hoped it would be?
We can't call ourselves the Yetis. They're dominating the Western Conference. Even though, they're, again, what are they, 9 points out of the second wild card. They're dominating because St. Louis is at 87 points. The Utah Hockey Club's at 78.
Mm-hmm.
And you have, 8 games left. So the Hockey Club's not going to make the playoffs, and the Jazz have lost 60 games.
And are firmly in the top 4 in the lottery.
Well spent on your tax dollars there, friends. That's stellar work.
But I'm serious. Does that upset you guys? Do you care?
I don't think they do. I think that the Jazz, if they wound up with Cooper Flagg, I think it'd be, that's why we did it. We tanked. It was worth it. Do you think Cooper Flagg coming to Salt Lake City makes them an NBA championship contender in the next 5 years?
And I think that really depends on what this front office is willing to do.
It depends on what Mr. Forgot to Order Purple Jerseys is willing to do.
Yeah.
What Mr. didn't check to see if the name Yeti was trademarked or available for him.
Yeah.
Ryan Smith, the paper billionaire who had to go and get a taxpayer handout for billions of dollars. What is he willing to do?
Mm-hmm.
Because he's clearly willing to lose at a very high level. He's excellent at losing. Right? Excellent at losing.
That's a fair question.
Are we really just going to ignore that he's torn the Utah Jazz apart and done nothing to rebuild them? Even though the taxpayers of Salt Lake City gave him a massive handout. $1 billion handout. 60 games for the first time ever. We're just trying to get Cooper Flagg. How many times are you going to make excuses for the guy who y'all went all in on Utah Yetis and it wasn't even available from the very beginning? How many times is the marketing genius going to forget to order purple jerseys for the Jazz? How many times?
A lot.
Well, Flagg reminds me of Keith Van Horn. They have very similar talent sets. Cooper Flagg's a better player than Keith was. I think Cooper Flagg is going to be generational. Absolutely generational. Roche, who has now changed his thing to a Jazz logo. Do we have faith that Ryan will actually spring off this and rebuild? No, I do not.
None
whatsoever.
Hope I'm wrong.
For me anyway, this is no difference than the eternally awful Ricketts family in Chicago who owns the Cubs, who made $500 million last year and is only spending $200 million versus the New York Mets, who made $400 million last year and are spending $400 million on payroll and signed Juan Soto and The Cubs don't have a bullpen. Made $544 million last year. Cubs don't have a bullpen. Thank God we have Shota, because thank God we signed Carson Kelly to be our
that's the issue, isn't it?
hit for the cycle last night. Justin Turner, crotchety old redhead. Thank God, couldn't get Bregman, didn't want to pay Bregman. Let's go get Justin Turner. You should never be playing a rookie at third base.
Yeah.
Not in Major League Baseball. Not when you're, anyway. Ryan Smith would. Had to have hockey, not willing to do what it takes to make the playoffs.
But you're more than happy to commit, what was it, $500,000 for up to 20 rinks in the Valley?
No, it's like millions of dollars, tens of millions of dollars for 20 rinks in the Valley. Cool. That's what Ryan Smith does. Ryan Smith, we're going to miss the playoffs. Somebody get me a towel. Got to spit shine this turd. $10 million to build 20 rinks. That's what he does.
Yeah, I think the way they had phrased it was, a max of $500,000 for each rink, which is what you're saying, obviously. Tens of millions of dollars for this, That's cool and everything. That's cool. But, I don't know, man. It's just extremely distasteful. It leaves a very, bad taste in my mouth with how they've handled this. And, it's all fine and dandy that every chance they get, they want to say that Salt Lake is like the entrepreneurial destination of the world and everything. And okay, dude, cool.
And we had to have professional hockey. There was an outpouring of demand. Well, you're tanking in basketball, and yet you still took the $1 billion handout, right? Ryan Smith, he of awesome forehead, took the $1 billion public payout and got a free pass, never went to a ballot, and can do whatever he wants with downtown Salt Lake City. It's remarkable to me. And yet this is only possible because the guy does not have anybody that will call him on the carpet for his actions.
Yep.
None of it.
So again, back to the question. As a Jazz fan, how do you feel about 60 losses? All-time worst season.
Yeah, exactly right. Chewy Gonzalez, I'm going to say it again. Utah Pro Sports is a joke. It is. Absolutely is. All right. Before we bail out, do we have the crappy video of the day?
We do.
Okay, so this is kind of a new thing that we like doing. We like playing videos of stupid people doing stupid things. And you guys know how much I hate gender reveal things.
Why do you hate gender reveals? Gender reveal parties, gender reveal thing,
Because all these guys are like, I shot myself in the dick with a rocket. Pointed the blue paint the wrong way. Hit the boys.
It was worth it because now we know what sex our kid's gonna be.
Yeah, look at my D. It's covered in blue.
Yeah.
I hate gender reveal. It's like at weddings. And again, I freely admit I'm the old guy on the porch. I don't stop throwing bouquets, because whoever catches the bouquet, even though you're a hag-faced wench, you're getting married next.
Dude, stop talking about Shailene like that, dude.
You're right. Good point.
Stop.
Aaron wrecked her forever. She's never getting married again. Stop throwing bouquets and just stop it.
Okay, so how should someone get married then? What's the take?
Not by catching a bouquet. Maybe, I don't know, meet somebody at the grocery store. Say, hey, can I get your digis? Can we go out to the bar? you can come back. Hey, sweetheart, you can come back to my place. We'll do the whole Ryan Knipple thing, and it'll be amazing. Right? Like, maybe
Smiles and glory holes.
Go out and talk to somebody. You fall in love, because when two people fall in love, there's a special moment.
Anita, Dick, and me.
And things happen.
I love you like the fat kid loves cake.
And when you love that cake, you got to put icing on that cake. And then apparently we have babies. guys understand what happened? Yeah, they bought pink ones and it shot off blue ones. So they're having a daughter, but it shot blue ones off. And so the wife was like, oh my God, they got it wrong.
And was not amused.
And was all pissed off.
So let me get this right. And this is my issue with the whole gender reveal thing. I don't have an issue if, like I'm not someone who's got like a million friends and, Mr. Social Butterfly. It's never been me. But there are a lot of people who have all their friends from high school and like that, they've got a huge group of people. So you want to get all your people together and, and do this. Okay, I'm good with that. Cool. Good times, vibes, great. But what's interesting to me about this video is the wife clearly knew the gender and the husband didn't. And this was like him finding out. That was kind of the preset.
Why do we have to do the loaded golf ball? Why do we have to do again
But see,
the
you don't
firework?
Think that's cool? You don't think the golf ball thing's cool?
No, just hey, make a cake and it's blue on the inside.
I mean, I'm gonna slice it either way, but might as well find out what what sex the kid is, right?
Yeah, I would highly recommend you slice it before you find out if she's pregnant. My point is,
you ought to know you bought it.
Didn't really work. My point is, I don't know these gender reveals. I guess I don't have a problem with the golf ball, but I don't need the guy with the explosive in his hand, like shooting himself in the D, and the kid tripping and falling. Or we were trying to find the best fail, and it's people cutting the balloon string instead of the balloon. If you're doing big gender reveals like this, you're about yourself, right? Like it just.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's definitely a. Listen, I mean, if you ask me, hey, do you want to know, just take the gender reveal party out of it. Do you want to know the sex of your kid before you have them? Or do you want to have it be a surprise?
Yeah, you should not be stupid.
Really,
know the gender first.
Yeah.
Do it first.
Yeah.
Eric Wasikowski says, Monty is old. Who knew? I know. Google me, or in this case, Digi me. Exactly.
Digi me.
Ryan Smith's receding hairline. Jake, we know you don't have friends. Not one.
Selectively aggressive.
Not one. Remember the gender reveal that started a forest fire? Yes. Worst idea couples can have. Just pop out the damn baby. Yes. Yes. Jay McClanahan, do it like old school. Get the ultrasound and call it a day. That's all I'm saying. Like, I just think we look at these gender reveal fails.
Mm-hmm.
And I think people we have such an appetite to go viral.
Yes.
Right? Like we have such an appetite to go viral, and I'll never understand it. I'll never understand I shot myself in the D. Look at me. But you know why guys do that? Because it's people like The View. Oh, we got to get that guy on and talk to him.
Monty.
Hey, Monty, go find him. Whoopi Goldberg wants to talk to the guy who shot himself in the cock with the blue paint, man. And he's in so much pain. Was it worth it, Steve? Like, shut up. No, it wasn't worth it.
Keep it real.
Like, he probably, whatever.
Dude, you nutted yourself trying to figure out the sex of your child.
And I don't feel bad for you. And there are so many pictures of it.
Oh, it's endless, dude.
Right?
It is so endless. Like, and what's so fascinating is, like, at least with the confetti, you don't have chalk all over you and everything. These people that do it with chalk, I'm asking why.
Yeah, but again, you can't tell me that this stuff isn't staged. And this particular dude, I fully believe that this was staged. I fully believe this was staged. I don't for a second believe, gender reveal gone wrong, Monty.
Doing a gender reveal, Monty.
Schemers trying to control their little worlds.
And I want so badly.
Hey, who is this
I
D-bag?
want so badly. I wish this had a video, or this would have been the one we played. So the story is that this home slice goes and they get a cake for their gender reveal. And you're trying to figure out, well, is it a boy or is it a girl? Well, apparently it's both. Right? Because this cake has blue and pink. And it's just like, all right, cool. You went viral. Do you feel better? Like, I guess I just am a curmudgeon.
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess I am a curmudge, and I guess I just don't deserve
me.
nice
I mean,
things.
I don't look. Like I said, I'm down. You want to get your friends together and have a good time? I'm down. I'm cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
But I agree when you're scheming to go viral and you stage a nut shot at a gender reveal party.
And I think that's what
that tells
was.
me everything we need to know about you, dude.
I truly think that's
again,
what this is.
We can all agree that at that point, it's not about the kid anymore. It's about you getting attention.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why like this picture, he was on the Today Show and he did a daytime TV tour.
Like, get the hell out of here, dude.
Yeah, come on. Okay, who's this from?
Maury Alvarez.
Monty Show kids, Jakey 2 Holy Shakes needs to get you a daughter already. Thank you, Maury. Hey, yeah, thank you for reminding me, Maury. That is fantastic. You know, we talk about the advocates on the show all the time. Send them a Venmo donation. I'm asking you to start doing this right now. Tomorrow is Wednesday. It is our last show for the next week. We are not on the air next week. We'll be off all week. And what we're trying to do is raise money with the advocates for hungry kids. And so I'm asking you to make a Venmo donation. Tomorrow, we will try to raise $500 on the show. But let's start that right now as the show comes to an end. Get on Venmo. And tomorrow in 24 hours, we will give away a $50 Amazon gift card. And the comment section will matter. Don't be vulgar. But Monty Show kids, perfect. Jakey 2 Holy Shakes needs to get you a daughter already. Absolutely right. Get on Venmo, make a donation, $5, $100, $1 million, whatever you can afford. All of that money goes to the Murray Children's Pantry. And what they are trying to do is raise money so that kids don't go hungry. One of the things the Murray Children's Pantry does is they make weekend food bags for school kids. Because one of the things we don't think about is kids go home and they don't have food. 1 in 6 kids in this country don't have food when they're at home.
You know a kid that doesn't have food.
Let that sink in. 1 in 6 kids don't know where their next meal is coming from. So the $5, the $50, the $100 you're able to donate makes all the difference in the world. At the Murray Children's Pantry, they make bags of food that they distribute to the community on the weekends so kids can eat. They make boxes of food. And talking to the Murray Children's Pantry, they're talking about how the parents come to the pantry to get a box of food. And they literally break down crying because all of your money goes into building these boxes that feeds kids and families for an entire week. And those parents, they talk about how the parents get really emotional because they don't have to worry about feeding their kids for a week when the previous week they had no idea how they were going to feed their kids. Like, let that emotion sink in. Again, $5, $25, $100, whatever you can donate, please get on Venmo, advocates donations in the comments section. If you could just put Monty Kids and then whatever comment you want. Tomorrow, we'll give away a $50 Amazon gift card on the show to the best comment section. And right now, Maury Alvarez has the lead. Jake doesn't. Jake just bought a dog. They're starting slow. Okay? Let him work through the dog first.
I'm a big fan of working through the dog, you know.
But here's what you need to do. Please make a donation on Venmo. And then screenshot that donation and direct message it to Jake. SLC Jake on Twitter or Instagram. Send him a direct message. With that screenshot, we'll read it on the show tomorrow.
Via social media.
And we'll give away a $50 Amazon gift card to the best comment
Super
section.
easy, bro.
It's not hard. Do it. It makes a difference. Kids in our community should not be hungry. We have the resources between all of us on this show in this community. Let's feed kids because spring and summer are coming. School's coming to an end. A lot of kids are going to be hungry. Let's make it happen. Advocates donations on Venmo. Advocates donations on Venmo. We appreciate all your help. The Monty Show presented by The Advocates at theadvocates.com. Until tomorrow, say goodbye, Jake.
Goodbye, Jake.